Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night. I know I cut that song off a little early because I was getting excited. It's time to rock. Well, we were rocking until I cut off the rock, and then we're still rocking. Anyway, welcome, everybody. I'm back from Antarctica. It was an amazing trip. We liberated some tears. You and me, all of us together, we liberated some tears. They are flowing like crazy. It's in this book too. It's in this book. I don't have the camera set up yet, but so I flipped to the overhead. But anyway, yeah, this is this is it. Here you go. Look at this. I got autographs from almost everybody. A couple were let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 did not. You can guess. Anyway, so I spent time on the plane writing stuff, just thoughts on things. I definitely logged a bunch of data points in here, and if you know what I was looking for, it wasn't just the sun in going in circles. That was number one. There's 16 in here. So measured the magnetic field strength. This is cool. Here, I'll show you just this little one here. The magnetic field strength in Punta Arenas, right there. Six times recalibrate. 6 times recalibrate. 6 times. That's 18. 18 measurements of the magnetic field strength in Punta Arenas. Now in Minneapolis, it's about 54 microteslas. In Punta Arenas, it's about 30. About 30. So it got weaker. Makes sense. Farther away from the pole. It works on both the dirt pizza and the globe. But wait. I also measured it in Santiago. What was it in Santiago? Well, yeah, Craig, of course, you should have been here, but your gimp leg. Sorry. You're good. We'll see you. We'll see you, man. We will finally get together. Okay, here we go. Santiago. Here's the raw measurements for Santiago. Same thing. 6, recalibrate, 6, recalibrate, 6. It's hard to see. Minneapolis, 54. Punta Arenas, 30. Santiago, 19 to 20. Weaker in Santiago than in Punta Arenas, but Punta Arenas on the dirt pizza is farther away than Santiago from the magnetic pole. Hey, Flattys, why is that? Why is the magnetic field strength increasing as you go farther south again? That doesn't make any sense. But your salvation will be in Antarctica, won't it? Won't it? Will that be your salvation? Oh, but it won't. Let's see here. I did the same thing in Antarctica. Hold on. I'm getting there. Here it is. Oh. Antarctica, farther away from the pole, the farthest point you could get from the North Pole on the dirt pizza. And if you're like, oh, well, there's the South Magnetic Pole on the dirt pizza too. Well, this is also far from the South Magnetic Pole. Remember, it was less than 20 in Santiago. It was 30 in Punta Arenas. In Union Glacier, 45. 45. There's your Christmas present, everybody. That right there, that does it. 45. Average, 45.0594. You got nothing. Flattys, you got nothing. Thank you to Andreas for writing. He wrote the code for that, and thank you to, it's on my website if you want to look at the code yourself, and thank you to Rizlan a flat earther who suggested that particular hardware configuration. He nailed it. He got it right. There's some bugs in that configuration. Andreas identified it, shook him out, fixed it, coded for it, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And no, Nathan, I didn't find the guns. Nobody found the guns. Turns out Nathan lied when he said that you'd get turned away at gunpoint. Turns out that every single flat earther that ever said that you'd get turned away at gunpoint was lying. Now some people say, well, they have to be intentionally lying to be a liar. Well, okay, then fine. They're incredibly indoctrinated, gullible idiots. You can say that too if you want. But here's the psychology of it. This is the psychology. Eric Dubay in 2014 said you couldn't go to Antarctica because you'd get turned away at gunpoint. And every single gullible idiot flat earther since then parroted him mindlessly. They just said what he said. And then they had the gall to suggest that I was the one that was indoctrinated. They had the gall to suggest that other people were indoctrinated and just parroting what they were told. Oh, but flat earthers, you're the indoctrinated ones. You had no evidence that you'd get turned away at gunpoint. There's no evidence. I've looked at it. That Norwegian guy that went down there, he wasn't turned away at gunpoint. He went there, he dropped off his crew, they died. Later he got arrested because he did something stupid, put their lives at risk, and they died. No gun points involved. No gun. But there's a reason why you got to be careful when you go there, because you'll die. Flying over, if you've seen that video of the landing, it went out this morning. If you've watched that video, the real-time video of the landing, there's nothing there. There's no trees. There's no plants. There's no animals. There's no shelter. There's nothing but snow and mountains for hundreds and hundreds of miles. And Flattys are like, how come we can't freely and independently explore? Well, you can. And if you're an idiot, you'll die. And then somebody's got to go clean up the mess you made, because we're not going to just leave it a mess. We're going to protect it. So somebody spilled a little bit of pop on the snow there at Union Glacier Camp, right? What did the staff do? They went and got a shovel. They scooped up the snow and they brought it over to be properly disposed of so that the pop didn't get forever embedded in the snow. Because where's it going to go? It's frozen. It's not like Minnesota where it's going to thaw in a couple months and then, wash away. It's there forever. They don't want to leave it there forever. So, soda not pop, says the disabled gamer. It's pop. That's what we call it here. Anyway. Seriously, Flattys, if you want to freely and privately explore, you can. You can. Make a plan. Make a plan. So I'll give you this. This was not recorded. Because the one of the people there requested that it not be recorded. So I can only refer to it from memory. So this is my, when you say something, you're only reciting it from the last time that you remembered it. So this is it right now, being my most recent recitation of it. One of our hosts, our liaison from ALE, Kati, amazing. Really sharp, and she don't take crap from anybody. We're at the meal the day before we leave. They invited us out to a restaurant. So we're sitting there, we're all around the table. There's the 9 of us plus one more guy, the bald guy who the conspiracy nutters thought was Will's security guard. Hilarious. We told him he just ate it up. And then one other person that flew with us. So there's 11 of us that flew down, plus some staff on the day that we flew down. There were other people there. So don't think that the camp was empty, right? We were the primary guests for, I think, just one night, because then other people came from elsewhere. So we're there the night before, and we're talking about the different people that have gone across Antarctica, the different expeditions that have gone across, and how ALE has helped in that. And we're talking with the people that firsthand deal with it. So if somebody's coming down, they're going to go through Punta Arenas, and the puppies are barking here. No, Kati is from, she's from Chile. So she knows firsthand what to do and how it works, and what types of things you need to do. So she's talking about what it takes, right? And Austin's there, and he's trying to quiz her because he thinks he knows more than her. Seriously, he thinks he knows more than her. She's firsthand, hands-on for years, helping people load up into planes, getting their gear ready, doing the logistics. She's the one on the ground here in Chile for people that are going there. You know, they come in, they're like, well, I'm going to do this expedition. I'm going to do this expedition. They're, right? This is what they do. She knows. And Austin's, you know, pretentious, like knows more than her. She's like, okay, so if you want to drive across Antarctica, right? Drive a vehicle of some sort. How do you do it? Well, you need to first transport that vehicle to Antarctica. Well, that's not easy, because how are you going to get it there? You're going to send it on a boat and bring it to the coast? Okay, you can do that. There's a cost. Right now, you've got it there. Now what? You need fuel. Well, where's your fuel? There's no gas station. So how are you going to get gas? You can drive a certain number of miles, and then what? Well, they need to drop a cache of gas and food in regular intervals. How do you do that? You can't get a plane to go the entire distance and drop. It takes multiple times for a plane to do that. And she's going over these things, yeah, right? So you're going to drop it here, you're going to drop it here, you're going to drop it here. Okay, then the plane's got to go back, get another load, fly forward. And each time you do it, you can't go as far because you can't drop as many things. Right? And then you can't leave the stuff. So all of the food that you eat and then you get rid of, you bring that with you. So that's in your car with you. And then when you get to a cache, okay, so you've got a barrel, you've got a pallet, whatever you've got there, you top off your fuel, you bring it with you, and you leave your garbage there. And then later, somebody's got to come pick up your garbage. How do they do that? That's not easy, right? Anyway, so these things need to happen. Then here's the harder thing. What if you have an accident? What if you get stuck? What if your car breaks down? Your vehicle, whatever it is. You need to get that out. That's your responsibility to get it out. You can't just leave it there. You can't say, call in, help, and then they bring you out. They need to bring the car out too. They still need to bring all the caches of food and fuel out with them too. Right? If you bail on your thing because there's a problem, that all has to come out too. And she's going over these things, and Austin's like, oh, well, you need permission. Like, of course you need permission from ALE and from the Chilean government and from whatever government you're coming from, because what? Because they need to go to the signatories of the treaty and say, we're going to have somebody doing something, and here's the plan, and here's the plan in case things don't work. And if the plan is stupid, then the signatories are going to say, that looks pretty dumb. How about you don't do that? Right? You need to be an adult about this. And Austin, not an adult, it's like, well, why can't you just go? Yeah, just go. Make sure you get an insurance policy so that somebody can come in and haul your dead corpse out of there, right? In a day or two when you die. Because that's what's going to happen if you're going in there like that. So it was, I have to say, it was glorious to see Whitsitt get absolutely trashed by Kati. It was good. You'll see a couple clips of her on some of the raw video that I'm uploading. She's great. Okay, let me read a couple things here. We got PJ says, where are the guns, Nathan? Tell you, They like making these proclamations, and Nathan was just parroting, and there's no guns. FTF says, we love you, MC Toon. You massive shill. I wish I was there with you. I would have loved to see Craig there. That would have been great. All right, get that leg better, Craig. Get that leg better. I want to see you there. I want to see you out and moving. Rossi says, I've come from the land of ice and snow and the magnificent sun where the flurf tears flow. Icy Spin says, update your LinkedIn. Have been to Antarctica. Good idea. I should do that. FTFE says, where are the guns, Nathan? And Nathan, of course, changed his story. He's like, oh, yeah, there is. I never said there wasn't a 24-hour sun. Of course you did. You said there was no 24-hour sun. This is the amazing thing. It's like the movie or the book 1984. Remember the scene? I don't know if you've read it. If you haven't, look it up. There's a politician giving a speech. There's a big crowd. And all around the pavilion, wherever they are, is signs talking about their enemy, right? There's 3 major countries. They're at war with one, and the other is their ally, something like this. And then the guy says, the other one that used to be their ally is now their enemy, and now all the signs around the perimeter are wrong. And so what does the crowd do? They just tear down the old signs. That's what the flat earthers are doing. They're tearing down the old signs. The you can't go there. The there is no 24-hour sun. The that would falsify flat earth. All of those signs they've torn down, and they're like, oh yeah, we totally predicted that. We totally predicted that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. No, you didn't. For 10 years, every one of you, with just a couple exceptions, have said that there's no 24-hour sun. And so half of them are of that camp. Another half of them are so incredibly gullible and so desperate that they're trying to say that it was faked. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I love it. The terabytes of data that will be the avalanche. The avalanche of data that will crush every one of those desperate lying people. Right? They hate the truth. Flat earthers hate the truth. They hate it, hate it, hate it. The truth is, I went to Antarctica. The truth is the sun does circles. The truth is it's completely impossible on the dirt pizza. That's the truth. They hate it. They absolutely hate the truth. And they're trying their hardest to claim that it was faked somehow. As if shadows... I don't know if you've seen this. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest cope ever. It's like they've never been outside on a sunny day. This is how dumb they are. I can freely and openly say if they think those shadows are a problem, they are seriously mentally retarded. That is not an exaggeration. That is an actual real diagnosis that me as a non-professional have given them. Yeah, I would debate Nico. He's no king. He's an idiot. But I would debate him, certainly. Speaking of debates, I got a couple announcements here. I'm looking for somebody to debate on Modern Day Debate on Friday about the evidence that we got while we were there. So any flatties that want to engage in a debate on Modern Day Debate about the evidence, right? So if any, it's not, no, you didn't go, here's the, no, Nico. No. That train is gone, right? We're past that. I uploaded a video, time lapse of the entire flight and a real time of the landing. We've got Critical Think, time lapse of the flight from the other window. Dave McKeegan, time lapse of the flight in the seat in front of me. Critical Think has posted his time lapse of the the return flight. We've got GPS on my live stream. We've got the mountains in the background of multiple live streams. We've got Dave McKeegan's 48-second time lapse and his 25-minute time lapse. The 25-minute time lapse, you can see us getting onto the Tucker and driving away. You can see us then an hour later coming back in. You can see in his time lapse when I was walking around talking to Nathan. All of that all of that already. There's hardly any. There's so much more. That's it. And we've destroyed already the incredibly stupid lie that they've tried to grasp onto, these little desperate losing flurfs, losing flat earthers. They're just, right? Their cult is crumbling. I get it. It's painful. It's painful, Flattys. Your cult is falling apart, right? And they can't handle it. I get it. It's a scramble. Yeah, you've been living a lie, Flattys, and we are destroying it. Right? You can decide that you care for truth and ditch flat Earth, or you can hold on to your lies. It's up to you. It's up to you. Now, you don't get to tell me I wasn't there. I was there. I got the sunburn to prove it. I got the sunburn. Industrial Nerd says, "Donde está las guns, Nathan?" For being as rubbish at Spanish as I am, I did pretty well in Punta Arenas. They're gracious hosts there. So, nothing but media for €5. Sorry, pounds. Pound says, "Merry Christmas, Toon. Thank you for giving us all a gift that will last for years. Here's a small gift for you. Wish I could give more. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it." Nothing but media. Darkstar 4400 says, "Glad you didn't fall off the bottom of the globe." That you don't notice. I'll just say you don't notice that you're upside down. You're not. Icy Spin says, "Was it harder assembling or disassembling green screen?" Dude, green screen doesn't give you a sunburn. The sun is just relentless. This is the thing that really, it never sets, and it's the lowest it gets is 13 degrees elevation, which is still pretty high. So from midday at 34 degrees to midnight at 13 degrees, you can't, like, you're not recognizing it yourself, right? It's high enough that it's far enough that you're like, it's up. And so it's like midnight and you're like, sun's up. You're not tired, but you're tired, but you're not tired, but you're tired. So it's 2 a.m. You're like, hey, I should go to bed. But the sun's up. We're sitting there in the tent, and we're like doing stuff on the computer, and we're looking outside, and it's just, the sun's just like, you're like, we're pulling shades. 2 a.m. We're pulling shades so that the sun isn't in our eyes at 2 a.m. 3 a.m. we're like, oh, this is, so we spent one night at the halfway point, and then 2 more nights at camp. So like I went to bed, I think 3 or 4 that first night. We were back at the camp. Like the first night, I think I slept an hour max, not even. I sat on the chair and I kind of dozed in and out. And then I'm like, oh, I'll get on the floor. It didn't work. I was better on the chair, but then, my hands asleep and wasn't good. So I was not restful. But that's fine. We got everything. We got it all. So I think I got 3 hours both nights. You put on the sleep mask, because it's bright. It's bright in the tent, and then when you wake up, you're like, it's pitch black, right? I grab my phone, turn off the alarm, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta open. So I pull up the sleep mask and it's way too bright. So like my eyes are closed, and I'm just like putting my fingers over to just get a little bit of sun in, just so that my eyes can start to adjust. It took about 5 minutes just to get that sleep mask off. It's, yes. Did I get sunburn in your nostrils? No. Did not get sunburn in my nostrils, but yes, I did get sunburn. I got, everybody coming back had the raccoon look, right? Like our eyes were, it was less burnt around our eyes. But yeah, so the sun is just relentless. It just never stops. And it's pretty harsh when there's no clouds. When we were there, we had 3 days of basically no clouds. So it's pretty harsh. You're like, I'm putting on sunscreen at 2 a.m. It's just, you go outside, you're like sunglasses on and man, like you can go a little bit, right? They're like, don't, but you can, right? Like, but like you get outside, oh, let me put my sunglasses on quick. And just that little bit of time, you're like, that's irritating. So, FTFE says, I am jealous. I'm a jealous FTFE. Got job, my man. I think he means good job, my man. Greg, you're going to go. You're going to be in New Jersey. Think about that. I mean, New Jersey? That's the trip of a lifetime. I'm kidding, New Jersey. He's going to be at DebateCon. I can't be at DebateCon. I will be in Florida. It's family vacation time, maybe next year. But I will be somewhere else in 2 weeks. Cover that in a little bit. Addicted to Gaming for $10 says, where'd it go? Oh, it jumped. Okay. Welcome back, Toon. Did Nathan ever find the guns? No, he didn't, and neither did I. No gun points were turning us back. Kango44 says, so, videos of you being stopped by the authorities, videos of the ice wall, the sun setting, the other puddles, videos of the film sets and guns, please. None of that. None of that at all. Cap Q57 says, you failed us. We got no satellite pictures of you walking around upside down in the bottom of a ball. The hilariousness of the Flattys saying, we needed upside down pictures of the bottom of the ball. Like, you don't understand upside down? That's a you problem. You're not smart enough. You're not tall enough to ride. If you think that upside down is a thing when you're looking from space. LA Silver Surfers, and Surfers is spelled with a Z. I appreciate that. Has a $10 super chat, but there wasn't a message. So tag me if you want me to say something. Let's see. When we need critical thinking says, what would your channel content be if no one believed in flat Earth? There are, tell you, I keep saying it. It's a target-rich environment. There are lots of people that are into all sorts of different Nazi, dumb, anti-science, science denialism stuff. So, hold on. I gotta prep the toon shine here. There we go. Okay. Prepped that. This here. Right. It's just so you know, like, you know what I'm doing, don't you? I'll do like, all right. So here's, I'll do the little thing where I do this. Say here, look, it's a can of tab that's not open, right? And then I put it down here, and then you hear this noise, right? And then up comes a can of tab that's now open, and I drink it. Anyway, nobody should be fooled by that. So we got Jay Donashi says, welcome back from the moon base. It probably felt like being on the moon. Hope you have a great Christmas and New Year. There were some similarities. I'll tell you this, and Dave McKeegan really noted this. Distances are off. There's no trees. There's just the snow, and the snow doesn't have a whole lot of features, right? It just kind of goes up and down, and you can't tell. It's white, 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 white. So you can't tell how far away something is on it because there's no trees. There's no rocks. There's just how far away, don't know. There's a mountain. That's the next thing you see. And you don't know how far away it is. And you don't know how much of the bottom of it is missing because you don't know how much of the bottom of it you should see, right? We have no perception of that, so we don't have any idea of it. So just to the south of our camp is Mount Rossman, and Mount Rossman looks like it's close. Looks like you could just walk over to it real quick, but we are 2 kilometers away from it. And in my memory right now, I walked to the south edge of camp, and I just stood there looking at Mount Rossman, trying to put together in my head, and I brought the camera with, and I was talking to all you, all y'all on the camera here. This all this data is uploading, but it uploads slow. So, just standing there saying, how far is this? Is this 2 kilometers? Is it farther? Is it closer? And then over to the east, no, the west, to the west of camp is where the runway is. And we're in this, it's a big basin, like there's mountains all around. And that, so when you really think of it, we've got up to the west. Yeah, up to the west is up to the plateau, the Antarctic plateau. And there's a mountain, and then there's a glacier flowing around this mountain on either side of the mountain, right? So it's flowing water. It's just really slow flowing. And you could see the ice flow coming down. And we could from camp, we could look out to it and say, oh, there it is. There's this mountain. There's the ice flow on either side, and it's white here, and it's the ice flow. And what's between us and that mountain? The runway. There's a plane there, because one of the days they're like, you want to go see the cargo plane that just landed? We're like, okay, cool. Where is it? They're like, it's that way. And you look that way and you don't see it. You don't see it because the snow and the topography of the snow is not flat. It's curving, neither proof nor of flat or globe. It's just that there's topography to the snow, but you don't feel it. You don't see it. It's not enough. But there's a runway there. You can't see it. So we drive over there, and it wasn't until we get really close that you could actually see the plane. And I got a lot of this on video. And then you're like, oh, wow, there's a full-size plane there that just showed up. But first you could just see the tail, and then you get closer, you're like, holy cow, there it is. So they brought us like halfway down the runway so that we could get video of the plane taking off. Pretty cool. And that ice runway is really ice. It's serious. And it's windy as can be there. So the plane takes off into the wind, and it actually doesn't take a lot of time to take off. The runway is 3 kilometers long. So I don't know how many other runways are that long. It's pretty long. And that cargo plane just lifts up and then doesn't care. It just goes up. It's Soviet pilots. They're pretty cool. So anyway, but we're walking. So there's a little thin layer of snow on certain parts because we weren't on the runway. We're next to it. Little bits of snow, and then you get to the blue ice part, right? And I know the difference between snow and ice, and I know what happens when you go from snow to ice because I live in Minnesota. This is what I see every winter, and I'm like, I'm not walking on that unless I've tested it. I put my foot on it a little bit. I'm like, it's super slippery. Not walking on it. Rennie, Critical Think, walks on it. Boom, he hits the ground. So he was okay. But okay, the space shuttle's runway is 4.5 kilometers long. So there you go. Anyway, so it's really slippery and very textured, right? It's bumpy and stuff. And so the guys were like, well, how much, what do they have to do to prepare the runway? He said, well, really all they need to do is they brush it off. And since it's super windy, they just need to loosen the snow from the ice and it blows away. That's all they do. For 3 kilometers, they just kind of bring a thing up and down and they brush it and it just goes away. That's all the maintenance they need to do. They do mark off the edges of it so the plane knows where to land. And so these planes are doing VFR on the way in. Right, so this is like a 757. It's used to doing IFR. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But when they get in there close, they need to do VFR. Because there's no radar, there's no nothing. They got to do it by eye. And man, it was a good landing. It was a good takeoff. And then they don't hit the brakes. They only use air. The little air brakes flip up. They reverse the engines, and then I was impressed at how quickly it did slow down. It wasn't feeling like, oh no, we're gonna go too far. So you can watch that video. Came out today. I will probably release the entire video, 4.5 hours or so from the Punta Arenas airport all the way through to getting off the plane in a real-time version of it for the doubters. So yeah, we were there. Okay. The Grumpy Old Mechanic says the Roald Amundsen expedition needs more attention. Jeran should be asked to explain it. Jeran should. Well, ask him. Jeran was great. I'll say that. Jeran was great on this trip. Kango44 says, oh, and the videos of the massive metropolis that Jeran says exists under the ice. Yeah, there's nothing under the ice there. There's nothing. You couldn't, because they shift. They shift. This ice shifts all the time. If you tried to build something underneath the ice, then in a little while it's going to be crumbling and crushing and churning against itself. It's a glacier. It moves. It's not stable. I don't know. Gary IOW says, bloody good job calling out Nathan Jokley, MC2, and it was glorious. Yes, Nathan, that was a fun phone call. It wasn't a phone call. It was a Discord call. He's like, did you stay up 24 hours? Do you really? Was that your straw grasp? That, like, if anybody fell asleep, then it didn't count? The desperation. Oh, the desperation. Yes. I sat on a chair uncomfortably at 5 or 6 in the morning for an hour. It was not rest. It was not restful. Wrath says, Merry Christmas, Toon. Thank you for letting us live this exciting adventure through you. It was a blast. Thank you very much. There's more to come. I am uploading the pictures. So if you go to flurf.info there and just search for MC2, and there's a page that has the listing of the raw videos, just the unedited videos that I've been uploading. I'm currently uploading, I'll look right now, on the 11th. Yep, the 11th. So specifically, I'm uploading file 17 of 19 for the 11th. And so people have been reviewing them and documenting them. And so they did a couple days ago. I don't think they have yet today, but and you're welcome to as well. There's links to those files if you want to review them and put timestamps in and stuff like that. So the 11th is the day that we got to Punta Arenas. And then the 12th is the day that the rest of the crew got there. So like we came in over the course of 2 different days. So the 13th is some prep work and some different things. And then of course the 14th we flew out. So like one of my favorite videos is when we had to we took an Uber over to a mall area. And I put the action cam up on the stick, and I put it out the window of the car, and I just held it above the car. And the cool thing is that we had the microphones inside the car. We had 2 of them going, and so you can hear us talking inside the car, but the view is from outside the car. That's pretty cool. Actually, I'll play a little bit of that maybe today here. Let's see. Lisa says, Goalpost Movers LLC. We move it so you don't lose it. Thank you for that, Lisa. Yeah, the goalpost moving is, as expected, absolutely insane. They're like, oh, we totally predicted that all along. Yeah, that was our model. Our model is that there is a 24-hour sun. How's that work? Oh, it's reflecting off the firmament. Totally reflect. No, it's not. We tested. But go ahead, do commit yourself to that lie. And then we will bring it down in an avalanche of data. So, you think this is our first rodeo? It's not. It's not. Dave McKeegan, genius. Will, genius. And with the people helping us, people saying this, check this. Like, yes. Absolute geniuses all around, helping us do all sorts of cool stuff. So M Shedler 49 for $10 says, have you thought out yet? You tell you. So M Shedler lives in Minnesota here. I was talking to my wife. She's like, it's -6 Fahrenheit. I'm like, oh, it's 25 Fahrenheit here in Antarctica. Walking around in a light coat and sometimes a t-shirt, because we still had our thick pants and our boots on, right? So we're like, our feet are warm, too warm even. But so then our, like, on top, we're like, I'm just going to take off this so that it's kind of a balance. And there's no wind for 2 days. So when it's 20 degrees and no wind, you're not really that cold, especially if you're wearing warm pants. So yes, I have now frozen because I went for a walk today with my wife. It was colder here than it was there. It was weird. I went to Antarctica to escape a Minnesota frozen winter. Adam Johnson says the flirt that FDFE was talking to yesterday said that the marathon runners were there to set up a stage for the fake sun. Yep, and he is a liar. He's just a blatant liar. This is what Flat Earth is. Flat Earth is liars. If you think the Earth is flat, you will lie for your lie. And then when that lie is shown to be a lie, you'll lie more to cover up that lie with another lie. That's what Flat Earth is. Just lies and lies and lies. Those 70 marathon runners ran a marathon. I interviewed the person that organizes the marathon. He does, I think, 3 of them in Antarctica with Alien, the same spot. They do at the North Pole. They do a 7-day, 7-continent, 7 marathon thing. Yes, that's insane. 7 days, people run 7 marathons on 7 continents. And the first one, to my knowledge, is in Antarctica because there's a bit more logistics to go there. So they do the marathon at that same spot there, and then they fly directly from, maybe it's not that spot. I don't know. They get to Australia or New Zealand, I think, is where their next hop is. And then they get up the next day and run another marathon. It's nuts. But yeah, they do that. And then they end up at the North Pole for a marathon at the North Pole. So when the flat earthers are like, there's a magnetic mountain at the North Pole, they're lying too. There's no magnetic mountain there. It's just ice and it's frozen seawater. So this guy went over the details of how they have to prepare for that. They parachute, and this is amazing. They parachute in several people to the North Pole to prepare a runway for a plane. So they get there, they have whatever they need for materials to prep it, and they start prepping it. And if it cracks, then they prep it the other direction. But they have to prep it so that the plane can come and land. Right now, he said this is what happens if they can't. Right, if the runway can't be made, then what? You've got people that you dropped there that need to be excavated, brought back out. And how do you do that? You can't land a plane there. So then they have to do a series of hops in a helicopter and you can't do a helicopter the whole distance, right? So they'll hop helicopters to get fuel, right? So then they have all the fuel they need to go hop, pick them up and hop all the way back. Then they need to get the fuel. They need to bring all that fuel back, right? None of this is easy. The costs are pretty high, but the people that like to do it, well, they like to do it and they don't mind paying for it. So that interview is on Conspiracy Tunes channel. Guy's pretty cool. If you doubt, go there. Saying "nuh-uh" isn't a smart way to do it. It's the liar's way to do it. If you think it's wrong, sign up. Sign up. Go do it. Flat Earthers, you lie. Stop it. Anyway, all right. Nugs Automation says it's deep coping when you claim the trip was staged. Nice to see you home in time with family for the holidays. Enjoy tune, well deserved. Thank you very much. The coping that they're doing, because they're split into 2 camps at the moment. It falsifies flat Earth and therefore must be fake. And, it's our new model, therefore it's okay, right? Neither of them are legit. Both of them are lies. It's just which camp are they going to lie to join? So, My Mom Bakes Cakes says, sent you an email and welcome back. Well, let me check my email. I got a lot of emails. Somebody today was saying, hey, did you get my email? I'm like, yeah, I did. I didn't read it though. Jason. I got a lot. I got a lot of emails. So who sent that? It was My Mom Bakes Cakes. Where is it? I don't know. There it is. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, they're desperate. Making that accusation that they have to make. Yep. When they make that accusation, tell you, every accusation is a confession. Tell you that. Okay. At least here's the nice thing about flat earthers is the absolute pure scum of the earth congregate together and call themselves flat earthers. So it's nice at least that they self-identify as evil scum that they are. So there's an occasional nice one, but as a whole, they're scum and they're evil. So anyway, Eddie Reese says flirts are slowly moving through the stages of grief. Most have reached anger and bargaining. Many still stuck in denial. True. Kevin McCoy says the YouTube channel for Flight Radar 24 also posted video of the recent trip to a private camp in Antarctica on the other side of the continent. Yeah, so apparently that flight was the most tracked flight that day. The flight from Punta Arenas to Antarctica. So well done, everybody. And we didn't have any internet while we were on the plane. We didn't have any internet when we landed the plane. We didn't have any internet when we got to camp until they told us, they gave us a tour. They said, here's the password for the Wi-Fi. We jumped on. And it's Starlink. It's using a satellite, using multiple satellites orbiting the globe. Flat Earthers live streamed from Antarctica using satellites orbiting the globe. The irony. And it's still flat. No, it's not. No, it's not, you idiot. How did those satellites work? Oh, well, they're balloons. Oh, really? Do you have proof? No. Well, one balloon landed here. That's one balloon. It's like bicycles exist, therefore motorcycles don't exist. That's what they're saying. You need to actually provide positive evidence that they're balloons. Who's launching these fleets of balloons? How long do they stay up? Who gathers them when they fall? Why aren't they always falling if there's fleets of balloons? One falling here and there isn't enough. If there's hundreds or thousands of them, when are they falling and where are they falling? You can't steer a balloon, so it's just going to fall wherever it falls. And why? Why does a directional dish only get coverage when it's in a very specific direction and it changes the direction a tiny bit and it gets nothing? If there's a fleet of balloons, how come all of the balloons that are in this fleet aren't all sending out the same signal? Look, Flattys, the coping is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right. Peter Lynn. Oh, do we have a kitty? We have a kitty.
Want the other kitty?
Oh yeah, get the other kitty. What do you think, kitty? You got some wisdom for us? No, he won't. You know, what are you looking at? Uh-oh. He's in a good mood. Uh-oh, here comes the dogs. You gonna get cranky? No? Oh, there we go. Yeah. He's in a good mood right now. Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. Oh, you're a good boy. He said he's in a good mood, then he hissed. All right, all right, run. Be free. Okay, this one. Oh, she's a sweet kitty. There. She's got just such a soft little meow. Anything for us? No?
She's not very talkative.
Not today. There you go. All right. Good kitty. There you go. All right. Thank you.
Good one.
All right. Where do you see Jeran and Austin going with their flat earthing from here? Well, I will not I'll not get too much into Jeran's position. I'll let him state it when he states it. I'm pretty certain that Austin, because he has said he won't be giving up flat earthing It is his entire life. It is his entire complete community. He met his wife through Flat Earth. He spent a huge portion of the time that he was in Antarctica on Discord. We'd be at this is where we'd be at the table. We're all sitting at the table eating, and he's sitting there like hood up or whatever, and he's just kind of, and then he'd say a couple words. We all look at him like, what? He doesn't even look up at us. Like he was responding to something on Discord. Like, oh, he's on Discord. Seriously, we're in Antarctica, and he had to get on Discord, right? I see it. It's, I don't know, coping, grief, something, dealing with, seeing what he has adamantly said doesn't exist, right? And now afterwards, the flip, oh, I knew for months. No, you didn't. Then why did you, not that long ago, adamantly say that there is no 24-hour sun? It's on video. It's not hard to find. It's on Modern Day Debate. So why? Well, again, with the lies. So, but anyway, we got along. I did not try to provoke him or anything. I didn't go stick the camera in his face. He's in some background shots and stuff, but I wasn't going after him and gloating at him or anything. Anyway, that's what that was. So yeah, I don't think Austin's going anywhere. He's going to double down. I think the community is going to shrink because this there's no denying this, and this is one of many things. The plan isn't, oh look, there's the sun. That's not the plan. We did so much more. They're like, well, you need to measure the ground. Guess what? We measured the ground. You know what the flat earthers did not do when we were there? They did not measure the ground. We invited them. Said, hey, we're going to go outside. We're going to measure the ground here. Do you want to come with? They didn't even answer. They were I don't know where they were. They weren't with us. They didn't join us. But me, Will, Critical Think, Dave McKeegan, we're out there measuring the ground. Critical Think brought a trundle wheel so we could measure the ground. So anyway, Steve6464 says, as a member super chat, how long before Jeran goes globe? I'll let Jeran speak for Jeran. I don't know what he's going to say. He was clear in his statements that he realized that what he used to think was incorrect and that he was wrong. And this is, I'll give him this. Most Flattys just adamantly declare that the sun doesn't do 24-hour circling, right? They just adamantly declare it sets. Just blindly parroting their Papa Fleur, which goes up to Dubé. Jeran had a different take on it. Jeran was, well, it's incompatible with flat Earth. So, and he was unsatisfied with the evidence. I disagree with him on that. But at least this line of thinking, I think, makes a little more sense. So he says, it can't work with flat Earth. That evidence isn't accepted. Therefore, it doesn't happen. At least he doesn't think it happens. And I think that's a more reasonable line of thinking. You tell me in the comments or in here if you think that makes a little more sense than just, it sets, there's no 24-hour sun. Parroting Dubé. That's what I think. Anyway, we'll see what he says. He's getting absolutely attacked by his own community. So I would say to everybody, give him the support he needs. Go over to his channel, subscribe to his channel, let him see the numbers go up after this instead of the stagnant numbers that he's had since for 5 or 6 years or whatever. Go over there right now. Put somebody grab his channel. Could you? Link it in the description or in the live chat here and go sub to him and just, he's in a tough spot right now because he's not going back to his community that are like, oh yes, oh, like Austin is It's okay. It didn't go the way you wanted, but it's okay. You're back with us now in safety. That's not it. He's out flapping in the wind. It's a tough spot for him, and he had the courage to do it. So, Zoomeray, maybe you can ask him to unblock me. Let's not, well, one step at a time, right? Yeah, Zoomeray. We'll say, hey, go unblock whatever. But he'll do things like I'll send him a little screenshot of somebody making a comment on his channel. He's like, hold on a second, like something nasty. He'll go block that person, right? They're making those types of accusations against me that, they love to make. He'll just go block that person. He's done that before. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to say. I really don't. But, he needs support. His community's gone. So Kirk Marshall says, LED Dome, hope you saw King Rico. It was rage quit on FTFE with Dave McKeegan present. Priceless. Dude's a psycho. Oh, yeah. Nico is an absolute pure mentally handicapped individual. He is. Absolutely. So poor guy. I mean, his parents, his mom probably is very sad. Probably doesn't want to admit that he's her offspring. The Antarctic Express says the best is when the flurfs admit to the actual shape of the Earth when they say their flurf lords are down there. Yeah. Kango 44 says, did Whitsitt do anything but complain? I think he might have been the first time out of the States for him. So he did have to get his passport. So unless he got it previously and it expired, this maybe was the first time. I don't know. If you get a passport before you're 18, it expires when you're 18. And then the max you can have it is 10 years. So he could have gotten it at 18 or 19 or 20 or whatever, and it'd be expired by now. I don't know his exact age offhand, but so he could have, and it could have expired. Or maybe he wasn't out of the country and this was his first trip. I don't know, but certainly it was his first trip in at least a few years out of the country. So Cole Neckbrew says, what do you think of all the division amongst Team Flat? And if I'm correct on this, Cole, are you? Oh yeah, Cole and I had lunch a while ago. Is that right? Is that who? Right? The division amongst Team Flat is interesting, right? If they were truth seekers, they would be united in accepting the truth. They would say, "Yep, there's a 24-hour sun. Yep, it doesn't work on the AE map." And then after they got to that point, then they would begin to have some sort of division. They'd say, "Okay, that falsifies the AE map, and every single observation that we saw down there matches the globe." Well, looks like a globe. Or knowing all that information that matches a globe and then say still going flat, that's the dishonest move, of course, because there's no evidence for flat. There's the belief that they see too far, but you don't see too far. You see just the right amount for the globe, just the right amount. But what they don't ever do is they don't ever take into account the atmospheric conditions. So if you care about being truthful, then you need to include atmospheric conditions. And if you can't quantify them, then you can't use that observation. Right? You need to quantify it somehow control for it. If nothing more than it will cause distant objects to appear higher, that's okay. Okay, so we can test based off of that. Is the bottom still obstructed? Yes, the bottom's still obstructed, and it still appears higher. Well, that only matches globe, that doesn't match flat. Because the base case, we'll take the base case. 0 atmospheric conditions going on. The globe predicts that at some distance, something, depending on how high you are and how far away it is, the bottom will be obstructed. That's the globe's prediction. At some point. So if there's ever any obstruction bottom up, then that goes into the globe bucket. And flat predicts that there will never, ever, 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 ever be anything obstructed bottom up. There's nothing between you and the bottom of that building. So there's nothing that could be obstructing it. This is the base case where there's no atmospheric conditions going on, right? That's applying perspective. Perspective means things are smaller when they're farther away. It doesn't mean something's blocking. Now you can bring in atmospheric conditions and say, well, what's the base case atmospheric conditions? The base case is that distant objects appear higher. Well, that doesn't cause an obstructed object or non-obstructed object to become obstructed. That just causes everything to appear slightly higher and maybe a little bit vertically compressed. On the globe, that means that you will then see farther than the non-atmospheric condition version of it. And you'll see less bottom-up obstruction. Okay, right? You can keep going from there with different, more chaotic environmental conditions. But that doesn't, at no point do you get to where, well, Flat Earth predicts bottom-up obstruction in regular conditions. That never happens. There's no explanation for it. Right? Can you construct a situation where there could be an atmospheric condition that would cause that? You can conceive of it, but the conditions are extremely unstable, and you will see artifacts of that. The reason why it's unstable is because it would require cold air above hot air. That's unstable. It wants to flip. You would see that because there's going to be layers and visible banding. So anyway, Darkstar 4400 says, any evidence of Whitsit's 160 IQ, or is peer review still working on the problem? I would say, having spent a week with him, there's no 160 IQ there. I would say it's more like 60. He's not a smart person. He thinks that talking fast, right? I think he's had success with talking fast, and people think that he's smart because he talks fast. Talking fast doesn't make you smart. He thinks that putting objectively and intrinsically and think words like that in front of things means that you don't get to argue with him. Oh no, it doesn't. He thinks that saying that centrifugal force is a fictitious force means that it doesn't exist, which tells me that he hasn't completed a high school physics course, because right in the first couple chapters here, it talks about centrifugal force, labels it as a fictitious force, but makes it clear that being a fictitious force doesn't mean it doesn't exist or doesn't do work. It means that it's a result of something else. It's resultant of the conservation of momentum. That's what centrifugal force is. You're going one direction and you're changing that direction. That object still wants to go that way. So as you're changing that direction, it creates this force away from the middle of that turn. So, but he thinks that then makes it not exist. He really did. During the trip, he tried to say that made it not exist. So, Unflat Earth says, welcome back. Hope you picked up some copium from the duty free as supplies are running low in the Flat Earth camp. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Unflat Earth, with your 10 Kiwi dollars. You've been around a long time, right? You had a different name before. Anyway, thank you very much. Grish says, would you have been hilarious if CC or Mikey Smith came along with the trip? I love the debate 2 years ago where Mikey Smith completely lost it. Yes. I don't think they could have. I don't think either of them could have handled it. Mikey Smith, I don't think could have handled the travel. And CC, CC maybe. I think he would have gotten lost though. The Santiago airport was a mess. It was a challenge to get through there. And a couple people had to get their flights bumped because of it. Not because they couldn't handle it, but because it was a difficult transition. Let me get a little tune shine going here, and I'll explain that. Cheers. Okay, so Will and I we rode the same. We weren't on the same plane, but we landed within minutes of each other in Santiago. So when we went into passport control, we were like right next to each other. He was right behind me. I just jumped back in line like 4 or 5 spots. So we went through passport control. And so passport controls, you give them your passport, they give you your papers, they look at it like, okay. And then we exited out of there through a security check. So they checked our carry-ons, and Will's carry-on was flagged because he has batteries in it. Mine was also flagged because I have batteries in it. So then, it's cooking in here. I'm warm. And so then we pick up our luggage, and then we go through another security check. We bring our luggage out through the security check. We had to fill out some paperwork, like where we're going and all that. And this is funny. Like where everybody's filling out this paperwork at this little desk here, and there's just, it was a mess of papers everywhere. And then we walk up to the guy, I hand the guy my paperwork, and he just puts it on a pile and says, go there. Like he's got a stack of papers. He didn't look at it. He didn't check anything. I could have written whatever I wanted there. He didn't care. But then he scanned my bag, my luggage, and then again I had to scan my my carry-on. They didn't flag my luggage. They flagged my carry-on. So I had to go through, show them the batteries again. Then I get it all, and then I stop and I look back, and there's Will, and they're digging through his big bag, which got the Starlink. So they're looking at his Starlink and saying, well, what is this? And he's like, it's Starlink. They're like, what's Starlink? So but they only speak Spanish. So he's got his phone going. He's like, it's for internet and for this and this, right? They want to make sure he's not selling it, right? And he's like, it's for this. And she goes, oh, I need that. How much is it? He didn't want to answer because it's a pretty expensive unit, the maritime Starlink, but the cheap one, of course, is kind of cheap. Anyway, so the then we have to bring our baggage we get in a line to drop off our baggage. So we just picked it up. Now we got to go in a line to drop it off. So we're in the international side of the airport. We go to this, it's just kind of a hole in the wall where a guy's sitting at a desk. It's got some belts that bring the stuff out to, I don't know, it goes into a wall. Like the luggage goes through a belt into the wall, and you hope it's going to go somewhere that you want it to go. So, it was a little bit late. Kitty, you're fine. No, you're okay. Cat wants to get out. So we're like, there's two people in front of us. They're also going to Punta, and there's two of us, and there's a guy up at the front, and the guy's like, yeah, you gotta wait, and he like puts us in line first, and then we did it. All right, so then we're in the wrong side of the airport, and so we leave the international part of the airport, and then we have to go to the domestic side, which is across this big area. So we hike it across the area there, and then we made it. We finally made it to the airplane. We weren't actually late. We had to stand in line again, so we got lucky there. Yes, kitty. Meow. What? You're fine. What do you want? You want to go get chased by the dogs? Is that what you want? He doesn't know what he wants. If he goes out there, the dogs are just going to chase him. Yeah, you want that? You don't. So anyway, so we did get it. We made it in time and then we had to wait. So it wasn't awesome in the end. So, anyway, Santiago was hot on the way there, and the air conditioning was not awesome. Let's see. Grish says bags went into the hole in the wall. Then you had to book it out to the other side of the airport. Glad the bags made it, and they did make it. So the video footage I had that going. So that's there, and some people have reviewed the video footage of us hiking to the other side. But we made it. Got on the plane to Punta Arenas and landed there finally. So, all right. Addicted to Gaming says, Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid on an iceberg with a map of Antarctica saying, no weapons, Nathanielson, on a t-shirt or hoodie. Hint, hint, I'll buy it. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good. Icy Spin says, you may have said it, but Flat Earth predictions total So they did not share with us any of their predictions. Obviously, one of the predictions would be that the sun would set. The running joke was during the orientation, I think Jeran, by the time we were done in Punta Arenas, they knew what was going to happen. The reason why they knew is because they could see, looking south across the water, the sun would set southwest, and then you'd see the light of the sun going across the horizon all night long until it came up in the southeast. And so they watched that for 3 nights. And they're like, that's what we're going to see, except we're going to see the sun being up. Right? So they knew. We took off, sun was up, we landed, sun was up, same sun, didn't set. Right? So they knew. But Jeran's like, when's the sunset? They're like, March or February? I don't know what. So, Kitty. What? Oh my gosh. Kitty. What? Okay, fine. Tell you what. Hold on. Hold on, Kitty. Shh. I'll get you. Hold on. All right. Speaking of Mikey Smith.
Yes, it is kind of interesting. SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. It's a little cold out tonight or this afternoon. Mashed potatoes. SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. I do the research and the experiments. Here's my little character. Celery. Bum. La 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 la. La 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 la. Tip me over and hear me shout. Three little pigs. Blah, blah, blah. Ramble. Flattys highway in North America. SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. That's kind of weird. Hopefully Cheese Whiz is on sale.
Oh my goodness. Love that. That's so funny. Mikey Smith, everybody. Okay. We got, one God is Nowhere one says, Five Freddy's stop line, just stop. If you are unwilling to go toe-to-toe with the participants who actually went there, your baseless claim should fall on deaf ears. You're in a cult. Ooh, Five Freddy? What's Five Freddy got to say? How you doing, Shifty? Shifty is no longer a flat earther. Congratulations to Shifty. Where's Five Freddy? There you go. Five Freddy says, Globers have zero proof, so they just make childish songs like this. Hey, Five Freddy, tell you what. My email address is mctoon@mctoon.net. You can send me an email right now, and you can bring your proof of flat earth. Just jump on right now. I'll set it up, and you can... I'll let you go. You can, have a few minutes to present proof, since you think that's what you got. So anyway, send me an email, mctoon@mctoon.net. But yes, in real life meetup when? January 10. January 10. I'll get to that in a little bit here. So anyway, Five Freddy, mctune at mctune.net. I got it here so I can see. Okay. What did I use as a microphone during the trip? I used a couple different ones. I used, of course, my cell phone microphone. I used my laptop microphone. It's a MacBook Pro. And then I used with the action cam, I used the DJI wireless mic 2. Those are pretty good mics. Really impressed with that. So, okay. Anyway, One God is Nowhere. How are you doing? You good? Got a little update. I hope you're feeling well. Kevin Fairclaw has a £2 super chat, but no message. Thank you very much for that. Mar Science for $40. Holy cow. Says, was there any spectroscopy taken of the sun, hydrogen lines, etc.? We did not do any spectroscopy, though. We did get a large number of sunspot pictures with a solar filter, around 1,200 of them. Here's the cool thing. Dave McKeegan had a equatorial mount, and he had his camera with the solar filter pointed at it, but he couldn't get it quite aligned just right. So he had to be constantly going out to make sure it was in alignment and it wasn't going off screen. So we've got 1,200 photographs of the sun, and they're all over the frame. They're always in frame, but they're glad to hear you're doing better. They're all over the frame. So when we landed in Santiago, I go, Dave, here, I've been writing this program in my head. Let me work on it. So I sat down, grabbed my computer, wrote out a program to identify the top and bottom of the sun, and center it, and then crop the image to 1,000 by 1,000, and then put the EXIF metadata on it. And before Dave left, he had all 1,200 of those photos cropped and ready for him. So yes, 1,200 photos. I wrote a program in the airport. It was great. So anyway, I offered Jeran, because I know Jeran did a similar thing. I offered him to, if he wants, I can send him the program. But he thinks he may have somebody to do that. So, all right, Steve Ravel says, nice to see you back tuned. Hope you got heaps of great information ready to continue the fight. I sent some emails with pics and video. Thank you for that, Steve. I got a lot of emails. I'm working through them. I won't be able to respond to a ton of them, but and then the ones to sun, moon, radius, and dip, I haven't even looked at any of those. Both radius, is it radius, and sun have people looking at them. So somebody was, if you look at my wiki site, there's the sun page has tons and tons of pictures of the sun with solar spots, with sunspots. And so this is the cool thing. You can look at the sunspots in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and you can compare them. And we did, Flattys. Part of the avalanche that will be crushing you. So JSS Tiger says, when can we expect radius experiment data? So I measured twice the radius of the Earth using the Eratosthenes method. I did it once in Punta Arenas, and I did it once using, as far as I know, the only time it's ever been what I called a reverse Eratosthenes, where it was, instead of the sun being toward the equator, which is in Minneapolis, local solar noon, it's I look due south. And of course, if you're in Punta Arenas, you look due north to see the sun at local solar noon. You can't see the sun normally at local solar midnight, but in Antarctica you can. And so I measured the shadow length, and Round Thinker did the analysis. I haven't watched that video yet to see what the results are. I'm anxious to see what it was. I have no doubt, though, that it confirmed that the Earth is a globe. Anyway, still no email from what's his name? Five whatever. Five whatever. Dude, send an email if you're so smart. If you got so much proof, you can come on. Otherwise, if you want, you could be the one on Friday on Modern Day Debate to face me live. It's a big audience there. If you got the chops, we're going to be the topic is to address the evidence, and I will share my evidence that I got on whatever topic it is that we're going to address. So, right, hold on. Let me get this. Let's see. Yeah. So, geez, I got to keep up here. Nothing yet. No email yet. We got Barry F. So, okay. So when can we expect radius measurements? I don't know. Maybe between Christmas and New Year's, I'll have a little bit of time, though we're pretty busy. Typically at work, though, it's really quiet at work. We're like, don't do anything. Everything's fine. It's all working. We're going to leave it like that. So deal with tickets, and we have less tickets because we'll have less people checking their email and wondering how come this happened or this happened. So Barry F says the longer you've been wrong, the harder it is to admit it, but also the harder it is to hide it. Something's got to give. Yeah. Jeran's been 9.5 years, and he admitted that he was wrong about this topic. And so I respect that for him. So it's Nick says it's surprising how not much has been presented from Whitsitt or Jeran. Very weird. Well, I don't know what Whitsitt didn't share what he was doing. I published ahead of time. I have a web page with all of the things that I was doing. I copied them all down. I had this all the time. I was like, hey, do you want to see this? Do you want to see what we're doing here? I offered to show Whitsitt the magnetometer. He's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, how about now? And he didn't answer because he was on Discord. So I'm like, all right, well, I offered. He didn't, right? It wasn't that he refused. It's just, it didn't happen. So, okay. GBS Warrior says, did they have to remove snow from Flirteers? Yeah, I suppose they'd have to, because it's not naturally occurring there. They'd clear it off. PJ says, I live in the east coast of the U.S., about 20 miles inland. I'll soon have oceanfront property due to all the Flirteers. Welcome back. Merry Christmas to you and yours and any who celebrate. We do celebrate Christmas. We're having everybody over tomorrow. And we made some cookies today. The first batch of cookies did not have enough flour. They're a little bit flat, a little runny. They still tasted fine, but we did not keep a lot of them. I mean, I could have packed them all in. They were yummy still, but I didn't need them. I did not need all that. Mark Graves says, did you guys form a good friendship? And so you think you will all keep in touch? I tell you, Dave McKeegan and I, we had a great time. He's a super guy. I love Dave. He's so fun. And I'd met Will before in Colorado, and yeah, he's awesome. And Rennie, Critical Think, he is so yes. All yeses. Rennie is super awesome. He flew back just yesterday and overnight. Yesterday from Santiago to Sydney. He took that flight. These were given to me by Giles from France, works for Air France. He got these. He gave them to me in April. And these two airports here are what destroys Flat Earth too. So, 1.3 thousand people watching. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm honored that there's many people are watching. Give it a thumbs up while you're there. Just, to let YouTube know. So, yes, I hope to get over to England and at some point here and meet up with everybody there. Everybody. There's so many of them. The finger frame says your take on Greater Sapiens, Duffy, Flat Earth versus creationism. So I like Greater Sapien. I really do. He does great work. And he is not a theist, and I'm fine with that, right? And but his take on Will was, I think, a bit harsh. Right? I don't think that Greater Sapien should leave the community because I disagree with him on religion. And he hasn't said that he thinks that I should leave the community because we disagree on religion. This is the Flat Earth debunking community is definitely a bit of everybody that's wants to debunk Flat Earth is invited. That's kind of what it's been. So for him to say kick Duffy to the curb, I thought was a bit harsh. And regardless of his position, it doesn't matter. Everybody is different. There's nobody that you agree with completely. There's nobody that I agree with completely. Nobody. And so where do you draw the line where this is acceptable and outside this box is not acceptable? I don't know how you can do that. So I say, let's not chop and slice and say everybody has to be like this. This is the only people that are allowed to be flat earth debunkers, right? Check. You have to have all these check boxes done, and everybody that doesn't have them, you get out. I don't think so. So, but I'm not going to say to Greater Sapien, you're out because I disagree with you. I'm going to say, Greater Sapien, I love you, and let's partner together to do this thing here. Right now, we may go elsewhere in some other venue and say we don't agree on this topic here, and we may have some disagreements, and we could engage in those disagreements within that realm. That's perfectly fine. And I'll tell you, he's great. He's greater. He's the Greater Sapien. He's no joke. Would I want to clash with him on some other topic? Oh no. I would not want to. He's fantastic. I would definitely, if ever, and I don't think it'll happen, but if ever I did, I'd need to be absolutely certain that I had everything lined up because he's so good. So I respect him. And I don't know. I don't think that was the right way to do it, but he does him, I do me. So, but the Flattys, they're like, you need to be this. The Flattys have that. Like, well, you have to, here's all these other conspiracies that you have to believe in. If you don't believe in them, then what's wrong with you? You didn't believe in them? Okay, you can't be part of the crew. Right? And that's them. That's not us. So, I don't know. Just today, so on my Discord server, somebody messaged me and said, something about, sorry about the drama. Like, I don't know anything about the drama. I wasn't paying attention to my Discord server. I can't. I'm too busy. So I reviewed it and it said, yep, looks like there's some drama. My comment was, this is the no drama server. If you want to be here, then no drama. You go elsewhere, right? We're all united in one thing, flat earth crushing. So, okay. There's a long answer for that 275 Canadian. Brian Peck, my first live stream. Says, Witsit was talking mad smack about a discussion about Battle of the Beams. Can we get the actual story from dinner? So, wow. That's a big one. I'm going to have to come back to that. And it might not be tonight. I don't know. That's a good one. So they asked me not to publish that video. I'll honor that. They asked me not to, but I can recall it from memory. So yes. Plastic Citizen says, welcome back. Looks like you've had a great trip. I did. It was fantastic. I spent 17 hours in Santiago. I'd never thought I would spend 17 hours wandering around Santiago. It was pretty good though. It was pretty good. Define airport. If there's an airport to get stuck in, that's a good airport to get stuck in. The Dallas airport is giant, but it's segmented off into these concourses, and to go between concourses, you got to get on the shuttle thing, and I'm like, I don't even want to do that. So I just stayed in the one. Anyway, Cole Varial says, you see Jeran's meltdown on Telegram against the other flurfs. 'Twas a sight to see. I put the images on the TFE channel on your Discord if you missed them. I did. I read the whole thing, and it was good. I can tell that he was holding his tongue for months. You read that, you could tell he was holding his tongue for months. And I will say, he had, in a different thing, he had some feedback from me. I'll take it to heart. He earned it. private stuff, he earned what he said to me. He gets to do it. Kevin McCoy says, highly suggest Flight Radar 24's recent video on their trip to Antarctica with an awesome pilot interview. They were on an A340 from South Africa. Very cool. There you go, Kevin McCoy. Jason Hyatt says, if it takes more than one picture and 2 lines of text, they won't be able to follow it. I suppose. Still no email from the Flatty that thinks they have proof. Dihydrogen monoxide's been a member for 4 months, says, have you seen Nico's latest debate at FTFE? I have not. I was, when that started, I went on a walk with my wife. We had dinner, made some cookies, had some family time, and then started this live stream here. So, PhD Tony says, you've been to the best hemisphere and you didn't drop by for a visit, you lazy slug. Well, thank you very much for that, PhD Tony. I appreciate that. Coming from you, being called a lazy slug is a compliment. It was far. You know how it is. It was far. I would have had to taken that same flight with Critical Think. An epic flight it was. Wyatt Wolf says, now get that ding dong Joseph Hanvey. He is super insane. Oh, don't you worry. Joseph Hanvey has a date with destiny. Oh yeah. I love watching the Flatties just run to him. Joseph Hanvey, you're our only hope. Please put together a whole bunch of 75 domes so that we can have 843 different pictures of the sun, but we only see one magically. Please, Joseph, we need you. It's great. Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And every time he tries a new one, I love it. He publishes it. The comments are like, this is the best thing ever. You totally nailed it. I can't believe it. And then Jeran's like, the sun's going the wrong direction. Then he deletes it. What about all the people that said he totally nailed it? Did they not? Were they wrong? Of course they were wrong. They're sheep. They're gullible sheep. He got it wrong. And they're like, this is right. Why didn't they say what Jeran said? It's going the wrong direction. Because they don't care about truth. They're just following along. This is all before, right? But yes, his new stuff. He's like, here, look at this. You can see the sun going this way. And you see the sun doing this. That's not, what are you talking about? That's not what we saw. We saw this. We saw this. We looked north and we saw the sun. Then 12 hours later, we looked south and we saw the sun. That's what we saw. And he's like, oh, it's this. No, it's not. It makes no sense. Steve6464 says, so you didn't let Austin figure the tips at dinner. Oh, dear. Jeez. I don't think I'll get into that right now. But, yeah, there was some psychology, some interesting psychology there. Rossi says, I feel bad for Mikey Smith. Diabetes is not the condition for medicine is a scam. I boycott Big Farm mindset. He's about to lose his big toes. Yeah. Now, he did a video the other day where he was on a bicycle, just biking away on the bicycle, like in his house. So you can get pretty far dealing with type 2 diabetes with diet and exercise. And so is he trying to do that? It looks like he's trying to do that. I don't know if he controls his diet well. He's trying to exercise, but yeah, if you need the medicine, you need the medicine. It's not, you can't just say, I'm going to diet and exercise my way out of this. Cold turkey, you've got to actually, there's steps to take. Yeah. Anyway, if you're wondering, Mikey Smith has shown his pictures of his feet, and they're not good. And he's definitely got diabetes, and he says he doesn't like to take his medicine. I don't know what medicine he has. I imagine it's metformin, and he probably is saying he isn't going to take it. Mikey, take your medicine. I have a good friend, worked with him for years. and he's had diabetes, and he's like, I'm gonna naturally cure this myself. He's no longer with us. And what is the cause? Complications from diabetes. Don't mess with it, Mikey. Okay. Greg Edmonds says, how thick was the ice at camp? It was snow. They actually had like snow groomers like they have on ski hills going around and like treating the snow. And so like they go around and it'd be really nice and wavy, like the little ridges. So we were just walking around on snow. It was hard and crunchy. If you've been in a cold area, you know what that is. At different temperatures, snow behaves differently. Below that snow, right? Even though the air temperature was 20, below the little layer of snow, it's not 20. It's negative whatever. And so like your feet get a little cold, and so like in the middle of the night, when this temperature went from 20 degrees to maybe 5 degrees, then my feet were starting to get cold. I'm like, I wish I would have had the thicker boots then. That was one time I wish I had thicker boots. I did not wear the big old clumpers at all, except for getting off the plane. It's the only time I wore the clumpers. I know how that yellow snow tastes like. What's your point? Fletcher Boy says, I was sharing some of the videos with my neighbor. He went home and came back with 2 parkas and stacks of pictures. He and his wife went on a cruise ship to Antarctica in the 90s. There was a 24-hour sun. Of course there was. That's really cool. Oh, how thick was the ice? I don't know other than what they said. They said it was thousands of feet thick. So basically it's a lake. The lake is frozen all the way to the bottom of ice. That's a runoff from a glacier that's spilling into this valley. And so, the tops of the mountains are sticking out of the lake. And it's thousands of feet deep down to the actual rock. So Professor Parks, PhD, says, welcome back. Hope nothing froze and fell off. It was warmer in Antarctica than Minnesota. My wife had a harder time. She's a little frustrated. Like, I'm walking around outside. We're doing FaceTime because they had Starlink. And I'm wearing just a light shirt. Right? And no hat, no nothing, no wind at the time. And she's like, it's 6 below Fahrenheit. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty nice here. All right. Alvius Effect says, in real life meetup when? Answer, January 10, Reno, Nevada, Flat Earth Pizza. That's the answer. I still need to get permission from Flat Earth Pizza. I haven't called him yet. So here's the story. A guy who calls himself Jack Cushman Herrer on Facebook a year ago issued a challenge to see across Lake Tahoe, $5,000. I accepted instantly. It's been a year of him waffling and making excuses. I'm like, put the money in escrow. Let's write the rules out. Let's go. I'll put my money in escrow and then we'll do it. He's like, I need to see the cash in hand. I'm like, it's in escrow. Anyway, went through all sorts of excuses over and over and over. And so now it's been a year. I'm like, it's time. We're going to do it January 11th, Saturday, January 11th at Lake Tahoe. I will be there. And if you're not there, you're not there. I will just show the world that you are a lying scum. That's what flat earthers are. That's what Jack Cushman Herrer is. That's not his real name. He's a pothead. He doesn't have $5,000, no doubt. So, yeah. So I'm going to be standing in the morning of January 11, on the dock, waiting for him to be on the other side. He has chosen 2 docks on Lake Tahoe. He says that he can zoom in on me and get a picture of me from the other dock, right? And we not up the hill, on the dock, no more than 10 feet above the water, he said. I'll be standing on the dock. He can be standing on the other side. And if he chooses not to, then he just shows that once again, that flat earthers are liars. So Jack, this is for you. Get your travel plans ready. I will be there. I will live stream me being there. And if you're not there, you're not there. Flat Earth loses again. But while I'm there, I will bring out my P1000 and I will see if I can see the dock on the other side, or if maybe instead the ground is completely obstructed and all I can see is somewhere up the hill. We will see. I will document this. And so this is a measurement of whether or not there's curvature. I will be doing it in public at Lake Tahoe on the 11th. So if you are in the vicinity, you are invited to 2 specific events. Reno, Nevada, Flat Earth Pizza, which is no longer owned by a flat earther. Ryan Walker used to own it. He started it. He sold it. It's still called Flat Earth Pizza. I don't know the current owner, but I'll call him and make sure that it's okay. If it doesn't work, I'll find some other location. That's where we're going to meet up. If anybody's in the vicinity, you're welcome. Flat or globe, doesn't matter. We'll come there. Then, if you want, you can come there on the morning of the 11th to the dock on the south end. I'll publish this on Facebook and on my website. So, yes. Hey, Storm Chaser, if you're going to be in Vegas, I don't know. It's a bit of a hike, but yeah, come on up. My wife will be there, and I'll be there. So my wife was fantastic. She was super gracious for the all of the things with the trip to Antarctica. So I'm like, let's go to Tahoe. The guy will chicken out. He won't show up. We know that. Flat Earth challenges are fake. All of them. And we'll just show once again the flat earthers are liars. Document it. Then I'll test for curvature. We'll document it. And then we'll go do something fun. And that's what we're doing. So you're invited for those a couple events there. So still no email. mctune@mctune.net. If you think you got the super woke truth, there you go. Anyway, that's the in real life meetup. If anybody's willing or able. We got Philip Barretta for $2 has a super chat but no message. Thank you for that. We got Gail OR says, so Nathan Oakley gone into hiding or what? Well, no, he thinks that he won. How does he think he won? I don't know. But he, very obviously doesn't care that he lies. Flat earthers lie. No surprise. That's what they do. Their currency is lies. So, no, he's on his channel in his little echo chamber, patting himself on the back. Rossi says, when SpaghettiOs came on, I was afraid McFlatty had hijacked your stream and we're going to see him finish out with you tied up in the basement. Dude, did you see McFlatty's latest video? Oh my gosh, he's so embarrassing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know, maybe somebody will drop a link. So, one God is nowhere says we can see your sunburn, not possible off a reflection or sun simulator. That's correct. Oh, let me show you. Right here is the disc. So this was 3D printed by Max Dandry. Max Dandry made this. Oh, and I don't have the plaque he made. So this here's the underside of it. You see that? And it's thick. It's thick. So there's these slots that you can see through it, right at the right angle. The sun can come in only through those slots. And so then you put this piece of paper underneath it, and then it sits on this little thing here, right? So I set this down on the ice next to the Jeranometer, and I put this piece in it upside down so you couldn't see it. And it's photosensitive paper. Look how cool that is. The sun circled. This is physical, tangible evidence that the sun circled in Antarctica. Isn't that awesome? This is so cool. This is so cool. Can you see that? All the starburst lines there. And so I didn't quite get north perfect, but it's pretty close. And you can see that the north part is darker than the south facing part. So the sun is more intense north than south. Really, really cool. So this sat for 24 hours. I did it twice. We were only there for 3 days in Antarctica. The first one got bumped, and so I had to pull it out, and I don't know where that went. But anyway, thank you very much, Max Dantry. This is really cool. So could it be faked with a torch, like a flashlight? No. So what I'm going to do is I have more of that photosensitive paper. I'm going to, on a sunny day here, which in December isn't common, I'm going to put a mirror behind it. So I'll set it down in Minnesota here, right? So that you have the south facing side here. I'll do it on a sunny day facing south, and I'll put a mirror on this side so that the mirror shines down into there to see what does the mirror do, to see if it could be a reflection, right? You got the straight sun, you got the mirror sun, because they claim it's a mirror. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we all know the results, but I'll go through the steps anyway. So yeah, could it be coffee cup caustic? It could not. Okay. MK Ultra says our hero, MC Toonheart, has returned safely from the Globe Crusades. Good to see you home. Thank you very much. Minnie Karen, appreciate that. Mechtheist says, the first night in Pennsylvania is in PA, Punta Arenas. In Jeranism's live midnight stream, watching the sky glow south of them, you can hear, that's pretty bright for midnight. It never got dark. Like all the way dark. You always saw light on the horizon. It made it difficult to get star trails, but not impossible. I got star trails. I'm so excited. I got star trails in the south around stars I did not recognize. It's so weird. I'm like, okay, that's the Southern Cross. What are those? What? I don't know. Like, they're grouped. I'm like, that's probably a constellation, but I don't know what it is. I haven't seen them before. I only knew the Southern Cross because it was shaped like a cross. And the state flag of where Punta Arenas is, it has the Southern Cross on it. That's the only way I knew. That's all I knew. It's so cool. I got star trails with the Southern Cross on it. Philip Beretta says, longtime watcher, can't wait to see the Flurf meltdowns in the area coming. Really enjoyed following your trip. Can't wait for all the content. Thank you for that. Very much. Thank you very, very much, Philip. Yeah, so I'm thinking probably what I'll do is I'll probably do a per day review and probably do just like a whole bunch, just a long, just let it go. I'll put it into a video and have it be 1 or 2 hours long, maybe longer, of, here's the first day. Here's the plane flight. Here's this, not just nothing, but, putting it together. But, the videos are going to be released probably, unless there's a reason not to, Creative Commons attribution. I don't see a reason for people to not be able to just use it as they want. So, JSS Tiger says, I never saw Whitsitt apologize for being wrong. Nope. He part of his personality, he can't admit. He can't say that he was. But Jeran did. Respect for Jeran. Marcus Leach says, I'm a committed atheist, but I get good vibes from Will and my fave Nabe, the local Anglican minister. Oh, so make of that what you will. There are good people and there are bad people. And, there are people that agree with you on religion and agree with me on religion. And there are bad people that agree with us or disagree with us on religion. Right? We all kind of think that, our personal view of things, we're the good people. Nah. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Hey, Greater Sapien. We're just talking about you. Love you, man. He says, great work last week. Merry Xmas. Good night, folks. Thanks, Greater Sapien. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you dropping by. So, Darkstar 4400 says, cordial disagreements. It's called being an adult. Yes, absolutely. Alejandro Vallejo says for 100 Mexican pesos, well, just like we have to get rid of flat earthers, we'll eventually need to get rid of young earth creationists too, don't you think? They're both science denier groups after all. I do not agree with young earth creationists, so I see it as different. Let me say it. I see it as different. We can go measure the shape of the earth. We can right now go and send a satellite into space and we can see the shape of the earth. We can do that. There's thousands of ways that we can go confirm that the earth is a globe. Right? Because we have the earth with us right now. Can we directly go and measure the age of something in the past? We can't. We can only indirectly. Right? I'm not saying I disagree with the indirect measurements of things being very old. I'm just saying it's a different type of way to do things. So I give a little more. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you don't. I think I should. I think it's fine. I give a little more of grace on that. But let me say, I don't. In many ways, I see it the same. Right? Flat earthers say, Bible says this, therefore this. Well, that's just your interpretation of the Bible. And I see young earth creationists saying, Bible says this, therefore this. And again, that's just their interpretation of the Bible. Nobody should have so much hubris that they think that their interpretation is the only way. Right? That's not a good way to think about things. So, and if you don't believe in the Bible and some young earth creationist says, well, the Bible says the earth is young, that doesn't do much for that person. Right? So young earthers, be aware that pushing young earthism pushes away the people that you want to maybe reach. Right? So maybe come at it differently. So King Ed V says all these people, including Greater Sapien, that are ganging up on Will are wrong. He has his beliefs, but is enforcing them on people on the internet, like flat earthers. Would Greater Sapien say the same thing about trans people or gay people? I don't know. I would love to see Jerry address that in a video. So, I love listening to Jerry. Greater Sapien, he's when he talks, it's good stuff. So, Where's Wally says, Joe, lots of domes A and B. What version is he up to now? Version 28.0.0.1.0A? He's like, he puts a mirror at the top and he calls it a super fluid. It's a mirror? It's just a mirror. It's so dumb. Fletcher Boy says, every flurf. Nuh-uh. Greg Ware says, Witsit's narcissism shone like a torch during TFE. It did, and you guys didn't see it all. I was there. Wow. Iroquois Native says, for $5, you are correct. We all can't agree. My bands are better. Black Sabbath, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, Dio. You know, except for Scorpions, I'm with you. Right? I don't know why. I tried. I never could like Scorpions. I mean, I don't dislike them, but like I don't like put them in and press play. Slithery says, have you seen Karen B explode at Som last night? Yes, I did. It was glorious. Well-earned explosion from Karen B. Som is quite a piece of crap, and Karen B, for all her faults, nailed it with him. I don't know where Karen's going with this, but she isn't saying it was done in a studio or any of that kind of dumb stuff. So good for her on that. I know she doesn't like me at all, but I can't find it in my heart to dislike her. I don't know. I mean, people dislike her. I can't. I don't know why. Angel Gamer says Mrs. Toon should have knit a wool onesie for you. Angel Gamer knows my wife in real life, and they have both done Angel Gamer. Do you knit, right? Or crochet, or both? I don't know. My wife does both. Oh my gosh, the dogs. Storm Chaser Patrick Pineda says, no kidding, you're going to go to Lake Tahoe the 11th. Tahoe the 11th. I'm going to be in Vegas that weekend. 3 Ron says, work on the 11th. I'm off next weekend. Don't fly somewhere just to come see me, right? Here's what you do. Have me come to you. Find a place for me to come speak or something like that. I'd love to. If you can make that happen, I'm in. I'll do that. The Capable Glober says the Flat Earth Proof email got lost in the Matrix and it needed to make that left turn at the Nexus. Well, it's like, all right. If you're a Weird Al fan, I'm leaving this on Ramshot. I'm leaving this on the screen here for a little bit. If you're a Weird Al fan, you know the song Albuquerque. And what did Bugs Bunny always say when he got lost? He's like, I shouldn't have taken that left turn at Albuquerque. I've been to Albuquerque. One time, I went to the world famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are oh so fluffy. And you can drink out of the ashtrays. Go ahead, they're clean. I went up, I've said this before, but I went at the world famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn because of the Weird Al song. I went up to the main desk and I asked if their towels were oh so fluffy. And the person at the desk looked at me and said, I'm like, yes, they are. I go, why are you so, what's wrong? She's like, usually they're kids. like I wasn't young enough to be excited to be at the world famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn where the towels are oh so fluffy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to watch that song or listen to the song. Jav Tondez for $5 says, Flatsoid have been spiraling so bad he got east and west mixed up and claimed you guys weren't actually in Antarctica. I know. He's so desperate. He tried so hard to lie about which direction the sun was rising and setting. When your worldview requires that you lie about the direction of sunsets, you've got a problem there, Flatsoid. You got a problem. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, Albuquerque is my favorite Weird Al song. It's 11 minutes and 22 seconds of gold. Yes, it is. And when I saw Weird Al, my first time seeing Weird Al, he did not play either the Albuquerque song nor the Twine Ball song. And we were in Minnesota. Where's Wally says the compound image from the Jeranometer showing shadow every hour is in our Discord DM, mate. Tis cool. All right, that's a good thing. Oh yeah, I got some stuff I wanted to show. Let me grab that. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. All right. There's that. Get this ready to show. What is, okay. So if you don't know, the Jeranometer was made by Where's Wally and sent along with Critical Think to Antarctica. And Critical Think set it up. It is well, I'll show you the picture. It'll make more sense when you see the picture. There it is. Okay. I'm prepping the scene here. You need to see the whole thing. All right, so there it is. So, oh, and there's me. He got one time just right with me. Thank you for that. Okay, so this is a compound image on the left of all the shadows there. So this is a sundial on the left. But you're wondering, what are we looking at? So if you look in the middle, there's a hole in the middle. That hole is where the GoPro is. Oh. So the GoPro was inside a styrofoam box pointing up at hard drives, hard drive platters. And so you're seeing actually the reflection off of hard drive platters. So you see a couple circles, and you see going down. Let's see, is my cursor? Do you see my cursor? You don't. Okay. No, that's too bad. Okay. So there's two hard drives that you can see, and then the center of the hard drives he filled in with more platters of hard drives to make a mirror. And so that's what that circle is in the middle. It's the GoPro pointing up. It's inside the box. It's in there so that it's warm. Didn't turn out to be that cold, so it wasn't that big of an issue, but they were going to you can put hand warmers in there and things like that to keep it warm inside. And so then there is on the left is a horizontal sundial, so you can see that it makes an irregular pattern, and then on the right is another sundial that shows the time of day, and it does that because it's angled at 10 degrees, and we were 10 degrees from the pole. Super cool. And then at the bottom there you see a levelometer so that it can be set level, and you see two magnetic directionometers so that we can see the direction of magnetic declination. So this measures magnetic declination because we know which direction the sun was at due north and which direction the sun was at due south. So and Rennie Critical Think did a good job of getting it aligned with due north, due south. We had done some things ahead of time so that we knew which way was the direction using GPS. So, and I think the declination is around 40 degrees. And so what do we see here? On the compass, we see, south is diagonal left, about 45 degrees left. And then, so the actual due south is southeast on that compass. So approximately 45 degrees. So got that, just nailed it, right? You look up the magnetic declination, you get about 45 degrees. Anyway, so this is a fantastic experiment. Just absolutely love it. What does this show? This shows a lot of things. It shows the predictions for the length of the shadow is correct, which means that the elevation of the sun prediction was correct, which shows that the understanding of where the Earth is in relation to the sun is correct. And it shows that the Earth is curving is correct because on the right side there, it's angled up at 10 degrees. And we're 10 degrees from the pole. So our orientation was shifted from the pole by 10 degrees over about 700 miles. That is correct. This is a measurement of curve, Flattys. Don't be confused, Flattys. This right here is a measurement of the curve. If it goes over your head, that's a you problem. So, and I'm pretty sure it will be a difficult thing for a lot of flat earthers, but yes, this is absolutely 100% confirmation of curve. So anyway, a really cool experiment that we did there. I put that under the sun shadow, the shadow on my thing there. So, okay. Indie Tiger Sci-Fi Review says, strangely, the police commissioner in Minnesota, where you're from, tried to get hold of Batman while you're away, but couldn't. I have no idea why. I don't know why that would be. Randomly Epic says, I think 17 months of watching Flurfs is getting to me, but built a new entertainment center today, and the drawers are facing the wrong way. If you don't know, in the days before leaving for the trip, I built a whole wall thing for my wife with a built-in electric fireplace. It was really cool. And it's nice having that little fireplace going. It's electric, but you don't know. When you're not looking right at it, you're like, that's a fireplace. It's really nice. So Maverick says, what was your favorite part of the whole trip? Oh my gosh, I can't give you a single favorite part. There were so many, but I'll give you a couple different things. I really did enjoy a couple of the things that I discussed back in 2018 on different forums. The angle of sunrise and sunset in December in the Southern Hemisphere. I never thought I would be there. I always thought I'd have to ask somebody. I went there. It was so awesome. The magnitude of the magnetic field of the Earth. I measured it myself. These hands measured it right? I did it myself. I brought my dip compass with. It did not survive the trip between Punta Arenas and Union Glacier it got a little bent on the pivot. But in Union Glacier, I measured the angle of the dip down, south, down, south, down. Seriously. That doesn't work for flat Earth. It doesn't. I measured it myself. I brought that with me myself. You helped me. That was awesome. Southern Star Trails. I got that. I'll show you that in a future time. None of those were in Antarctica. Those were awesome. In Antarctica, we went on, right? We got there, work time. We did our work first. We did a flight, little sightseeing flight around the whole area there. That was cool. I was really tired. I have to admit, the memories of that are a little foggy. I have the video though out the window. I watched that. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, Icy Spin says, I confirmed your azimuth and elevation angle with Jeran on the 15th on Stellarium. There you go. Icy Spin says on his live stream where he asked you to use your theodolite app. Oh, all right. Yeah, so when we got there, this is funny. We got there. We had from when we got to Union Glacier Camp, and when we had our orientation pretty quickly, and then we had dinner. Right, so between orientation and dinner, we had a gap. And Austin is where? He's on Discord. Already, he's on Discord. He's like, oh, the sun's wrong. It's all wrong. The heliocentric model says, the mainstream model says that it should only be like 34 degrees high. It's way more than that. $29.6. He measured it with his eyes and declared that it didn't match with his eyes. Dipstick. I measured it with an instrument that's specifically designed to measure angles. Dipstick. So, okay, when we were done with our work, we got that done. Then we went to see the cargo plane take off, and then from there we drove over to the scoop, they call it. That's where the wind goes through and it makes it carves into the ice, basically big waves, like you're surfing waves. And it goes up and it like hooks over the top. If you go to ALE's website, you can see this spot. Really cool. That was one of the coolest things to see. To see ice being carved into that shape from wind is nuts. And when you're standing there, like, this wind is just goes and goes and goes. It's relentless. So that was cool. The flight was cool. Seeing, just even though it was like it just beat down on you all the time, seeing the sun at 3 a.m. above Mount Rossman, that was so cool. If you looked ahead at like, oh, they're gonna have quiet time in camp, nobody cared. Right? We weren't being noisy. Nobody cared. The camp was hopping. We're in the dining hall. People are in there. There's a group from China. They'd gotten back from climbing, mountain climbing the day before, and they're in there at 2 a.m. playing cards. I posted it on Facebook. Go watch that video. Oh yeah. Really cool. Okay. Professor Phil Bell says, Flurfs, why star trails are not horizontal? That's a great question. That's what Flat Earth requires. They're like all sorts of lame excuses for it. Shadow Doc says, where's Will Duffy's church at? I live in Denver too and would love to visit him sometime. So it's called Agape Christian Fellowship. It's in Wheat Ridge. So you can find it. You can find it there. You can find the website. It used to have a different name. Denver Bible Fellowship, something like that. But now it's Agape Christian Fellowship. It's not a big church. Let them know you're coming, maybe. You don't have to, but I think you'd appreciate knowing. So, yeah. There you go. There it is. Okay. One God is Nowhere. It says Agape Kingdom Fellowship. There it is. Thank you for that. He knows. He goes. Shadow Doc. So there it is, Shadow Doc. Palastia Perek for 5,000 Chilean pesos says, would like to contribute to TFE by taking a star trail image from here in Valdivia, Chile at 39 South. The difference in angles to the South Celestial Pole can be another measure of curvature. Oh, that'd be fantastic. And I could not angle up from inside into the hotel room. I could not angle up the camera to all the way to get to the center of rotation, which is 53 degrees up. I couldn't get it from inside my hotel room. So if you can get that, Palastia, I would love that. Definitely send that to me, mztune@mztune.net, if you can get that the Star Trails photo. New cameras tend to have a program for that. Another way is to just take a photo every minute and then they can just get stacked together. So either way would be fantastic. I'd love it. Thank you. The Antarctic Express says, near militant atheist here, live across the street from a popular Greek Orthodox church. Defended them from miscreants. Prefer the Adhan over church bells. One can take mythology for what it is. Thank you for that. Yeah. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, I've seen the documentary by John Carpenter, The Thing. I hope you didn't bring a dog home from Antarctica. I did not. No dogs. There's no trees. There's no plants. There's no animals. There's no insects. There's just snow and mountains. That's it. Frozen water and mountains. Not one tree, not one plant. The mountains are just rock or snow. It's nuts. You think about that. It doesn't, you go anywhere in the United States, maybe far, far north, Alaska, right? But you go in the continental United States here, you go to the tall mountain, right? You get above where the trees can't grow, there's still plants. You get above the tree line, there's still plants. But not there. It's so different, right? You're not going to get eaten by a polar bear. There's no polar bear. And there's no dog, you're definitely not going to be seeing a dog. Bridge the Divide, friend of mine from Texas there, says, I've always suspected it was never a science issue or even a government issue. Always been I want to believe I'm a special creation issue. I think you're talking about young Earth creationism, and I think so. And is it I want to believe, or I just do believe, right? I don't know. I don't know if we can put the motivation on it. I don't know if you can, right? And I have that feeling myself. So I don't know. Anyway, let's move on here. We got Shadow Doc says, are you going to take up Duffy on his next trip in 2027 to Egypt to see the solar eclipse at the pyramids? That would be an incredible sight. I already told him. Yes, I asked my wife right away. I'm like, hey, you want to go to Egypt in 2027? She's like, okay. I told Will, let's go. All right, Ramshot Rowdy. Let's see if this is rolled off here. Yeah, it did. Said, the final experiment convinced me the Earth is flat. It looked pretty flat in the video with magnetic stuff, air density, dome reflections, and various other crap. Well, I think this is satire. So thank you very much for the satire there. Rim shot ready. Does this come up? There it is. Yeah. There it is. Magnetic stuff finds its own level. Is that? Yeah, that comes up. Okay. Thank you for that. Oh, I didn't think about like doing this. We can see it. Eduardo Ferrero says, if you or anyone could send me any moon pictures you might have or take where the face is clear, please tag it with time or geodata exif. So I have a moon@mc2.net address. I haven't even checked it yet, but I suspect people will. So Eduardo, if you want to send me an email, mctune@mc2.net, or actually, no, better yet, send it to moon@mctune.net, and I'll just forward you anything that I got there. They will go on my website eventually, but it's easier for me to just forward them to you. And I will also forward your email to Dave McKeegan, because I know he got several as well. So do that, and I'll hook you up. A. Bates says, what thermodynamic laws are in play that the combined brain power of all flat earthers equal to a bowl of lukewarm tapioca? I don't know. I'm going to have to make up some laws of thermodynamics. Gail or says, has Nathan Oakley been there? All footage would have been ruined because of the bald head reflecting all the sunlight, thus creating a second sun. Oh, Oakley. Astrokate Sathix says, congratulations on the successful trip to Antarctica. I think a lot of sore people are going to leave flat Earth. That's the power of citizen science. And I tell you, it didn't even strike me until, like, I don't know when. We were in there a while. We had been doing, we're rolling the trundle wheel down. We're doing things to determine three different methods to determine north-south. Measuring the angle to the sun, so we could do an Eratosthenes measurement of the radius of the Earth. I was hunting to find that lighthouse. I never found the lighthouse. Something was in the way. It's 20 miles away. Couldn't find it. Something was blocking it. But every day I was looking. I'm out the window in the hotel room up on the 6th floor, on the 8th floor. Can't find it. So, but yeah, then I'm like, yeah, this group of us, we're together. We're doing this. We planned these things out weeks and months ahead, and we're doing it now. We're coming together. It was really cool. Watching Critical Think roll that trundle wheel down the road in Punta Arenas with Will standing there. Will had the he was focused. He's got the GPS unit here, and he had a pole he was aiming at, and he's just walking, just focused walking, right? And other people are walking in and out, and they're like trying to talk to him, move out of his way or whatever. He's like, I don't care. And he's going in and up and down curbs, and he's going across where cars are a little bit. He's like, nope, just going. It was really cool. And yes, that is citizen science. It was super cool. Left-Headed Jedi says, congratulations on being a part of history. Huzzah! PhD Tony says, best part of the trip, saying goodbye to Whitsid. I shook his hand. We shook hands. That was it. Greg Ware says, you were a kid in a candy store during TFE, Mr. Toon. I was enjoying it. Every single part of it. I loved it. I loved it all. I never got tired. Like, it's 3 a.m. I'm like, you ready to go? I'm ready to go. Let's rock. Alexander L said, where are the guns, Nathan? Where are the guns? MM84 says, how was the food there? What was your favorite? Well, let me tell you. We went to the food there is reasonably priced. Their peso is 1,000 to 1 US. So it's like 5,000 pesos. That's $5. And so we went 3 times. We went to the same place called basically the Straits of Magellan. And it's a steakhouse, and it was good stuff, really good stuff. One of the nights we got there, the second time we went there, they're like, well, we don't have this, this, or this. I'm like, but do you have filet? They're like, well, we have filet. I'm like, that's all I need. But they're like, we only have 3 of these. So, yep, 3 of them got eaten. So, anyway, so that was fantastic food there. They do kind of overcook it. They cook their meat a little more. So I usually get medium rare. Had to get it rare, and then it was medium rare. But it was inconsistent too. So like one time I ordered it rare, and it was pretty rare. I mean, it's still fine, but and then I was right next to Dave McKeegan, and he ordered it medium, and it was rare. So he had to give it a little more cooking. So that was good. We went to like an old house that had been converted into a restaurant one night. That was a pretty cool place. That the server there, the waiter there was really cool. Nice guy. The food was fine. There's nothing spicy. So we're walking around, and Jonathan Marindi, he's from California. He's like, I want some street tacos. Like, you're not getting anything. There's nothing picante here. Nothing. Right. I got, what did I get? I got something at that house that was converted into a restaurant, and they're like, oh, it's a little picante. I'm like, okay, let me get that. It wasn't. There's no spice. Nothing at all. I mean, how far were we from Mexico where they like the spicy food? Spain is probably closer to Mexico than we were to Mexico. So, anyway, it was good. Food was great. Alejandro Vallejo says, Karen B Meltdown was so good / unexpected to me that I thought she'd become a glober or a normal person. That was, it was, yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't have it in me to dislike her. Even though for some reason she doesn't like me at all. I don't know. But yeah, that meltdown toward Sav, SSUM, or sovereign citizen, whatever. Anyway, that was great. That was great because he was saying that it was faked, and she's like, it wasn't faked. You're stupid. So Professor Phil Bell says, did you experience catabolic winds in the glacier? Catabolic winds. Hold on. Let me Google catabolic winds. Professor Phil Bell. Cold, high-density air masses that flow down a slope due to gravity. That is probably what caused those winds to be carving into the ice at the scoop. Because, yeah, they were aggressive. They were relentless. And they were powerful. So, yep, that sounds like it. Icy Spin says, do you think Austin appreciated the trip? I think he did in the end, but he complained. He's like, he complained to Karen B today that the food wasn't good. The food at Union Glacier was amazing for being where we were. The food was something. They tipped for dinner. They had fish and meat of some sort for the proteins. Again, nothing picante. Like when I'm looking at like Hispanic food, to me, I think, I need a little bit of spice on it. Fortunately, they had Cholula at the table, and sriracha. So I had the Cholula if I needed it, make it a little more like home. Yes, that's right. More like home, Mexican. If you come to our house, you're eating Mexican. I'll tell you that. So I don't know. Did he appreciate it? Hard to say. All right, let's see this here. We got Ramshot Rowdy for $200. Wow, thank you so much. Says, I'm not sure about that Dave guy you were hanging out with. He talks strange. I suspect he might be from England. You got to watch those people. Anyway, thank you for doing this. Hope you loved it. Glad to see you back home with your family. Enjoyed all the streams and videos. Dave McKeegan, man, what a great guy. What an absolute fun person to hang out with. If you're in England, if you need to go find Dave and you need to go hang out with him. He was he was just when we're going somewhere, right? What we would tend to be like, Dave and I would kind of walk a little bit, right? Kind of hang out a bit, and we'd just talk shop on stuff, and it was pretty cool. So yeah. All right, I'm going to show you something here in a second. So we've got Max Dandry says I'm a half hour late, but thanks for the shout out. Yep. Where'd it go? There it is. Right there. Max says, and then Darkstar 4400 says, Will Duffy's Church, Agape Kingdom Fellowship, 64 miles due south of us. And then the link to the church. So there it is. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to prep this. There is a, let's see, is this it? I got to show you a couple things here. So there's some wondering about luggage. So let me get this ready here. Is this it? Oh no, okay. This isn't luggage. Okay, that's right. I'll show you this. This is pretty cool. So there's the hotel, Hotel Diego de Almagro. And so we've got Will on the left, Dave on the right.
They don't get there till 1:10 p.m. So this is making me nervous.
All right. There's the hotel. So they come an hour after him? So we're talking about people arriving in the airport. So, but we call this Uber to bring us over to this shopping center area.
Are you the tallest? You want to sit in the front? Go ahead. You take the front. I'll take the middle.
Right, and I'll forward. I'll scoot ahead a little bit here.
I'll take the middle. Frustrates me a little bit.
All right. So what do? I roll down the window. I put the little selfie stick out the window and extend it all the way up. There you go.
No, unless I'm messing up time zones. Isn't Santiago the same time zone as this?
Yeah.
So you get to see. You get to see driving the streets of Punta Arenas.
Telegram after your flight was supposed to.
From a high perspective.
Oh, this is where the Airbnb was. Remember? We walked across this bridge. I think one more and then a left.
Okay, and then you hear the sounds.
The telegram is. Oh, does that mean it was delivered, or is just 2 check marks mean it was delivered?
One is.
So if you're hearing the left and right, if you're in stereo here, the way this works is one of the microphones records left channel and one of the microphones records right channel, and so that's what you're hearing. So one of the mics is on Will, and the other mic is on me, I think.
Because of the bag situation,
Yeah.
and they told him they'll put him on the next one, which Austin and Lisbeth are on that flight.
Yeah, well, that'd be fine.
That would be totally fine. But I want to get him with the other guy to talk about Flat Earth.
The Portuguese guy?
No, the Indian guy.
He was talking about the marathon runners. We had some of the marathon runners that wanted to talk with Austin, and that did happen. But I wasn't there for that, so I didn't see it.
That's funny.
It's both sides.
Flat and glow were kicked out.
And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it too. And he got angry that I was doing it. Like, you just took one of us. You can't.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
And then he, for some reason, Austin got the idea that like I'm really short from Dave. And and I'm like, I'm just average. and so Austin was saying that recently. And I'm like, I got a picture of myself and Dave is, I don't know how much, but she's shorter than me.
All right, so there you go. You get a little behind the scenes talk, and then let's see. We come up to the. Here's where we get out.
Ready. Okay, bye-bye.
There you go.
All right.
There's the shop there. Anyway, So there you go. There's one little bit of something, and then let's see this one here. This is the. All right, so this is outside the hotel, but then at 24 minutes. So you all right? So here we're walking back to the hotel. There it is on the left. And
Black.
You can see black on black. It's a little hard.
all right, so you see the this little platform here. These are the platforms that we're looking out over. Like you could see them out our hotel windows there. All of our hotel windows were facing this direction here. And so for some reason, like they built these cool things up here that we went on and we did some of our filming on there. But anyway, so here we're walking around. There's John Morandi. He's a flat earther. And then, yeah, this thing here, look at this track. You see that track? I have no idea what it's for. It's like a little kid, like bike track or something. No idea what it's for. Anyway, this is an important thing here. So coming up.
Good stop.
Wow.
India, this is the same.
Hi.
So this is Kati, our one of our two liaisons.
Yes.
Do you happen to know the total weight limit for the program per passenger?
I do not.
Okay, because I just talked to Dave McKagan and
Yes.
he showed me like tons of gear for cameras and stuff.
Yes.
And just for you to know, you are allowed to bring as many bags as you want, provided that you don't exceed one, the total weight limit per program, in your case, Antarctic Odyssey, and two, none of the bags is over 25 kilograms, because I am the one who has to lift those, and the Chilean regulation for workers is that we shouldn't be lifting more than 25 kilograms.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to the office. I'm going to double check on the total weight limit for your program, so you are all informed
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank
and
you.
then you can distribute the weight as you prefer.
Thank you so much.
Take it.
Yes.
David told me that he's bringing very many power banks with him. It seems that your case is similar.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Chilean regulation establishes a limit of power banks per passenger.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact number.
Okay.
But I'll check at the office and let you know.
Okay.
So if you are bringing more than the limit,
Yes.
you can redistribute the power banks among
Yes.
the 9 of you.
Okay.
And then you will.
Okay. Thank you so
All right, so that's the end of that particular one. It started out on the sand here. And then let's see. One more. I'll just show a little clip. A little taste of one. So that's not it. So they're separated out by day. Yeah, here it is. Okay. All right, so here we are at the camp. I'm walking around, and this is the morning. So we had done our first day there. We did all that stuff the first day, and then all the way through midnight that second day, and then we came back and we're like backing up data and everything. But then this is the morning, so I had set up a sundial, and the sundial camera was just running. But I needed to go check the batteries. So this is me going to check the batteries. I had to go get a little different gear on because I was dressed for just walking around, but I wasn't dressed for wind. And you'll see in a minute why I needed to be dressed for wind. So here I go into the tent, I grab some stuff, and here's why I needed to be dressed for wind. So for people saying that it was on some sort of a set. I got this whole video. If you think we're on a set, you're drastically wrong. That's a big set. And yes, guide us. There is definitely. I have the whole thing. I'll get to that in a second. Look at those mountains. So this is on my backpack thing, and that's why it's a little crooked. But just look at the mountains in the background there. Right? They're so far away that their parallax is basically nothing. So
That's all. It's really quick.
You want to
there you go.
3 of us, I think, are up.
It had stayed up all night.
Who came back yesterday earlier than the rest of us, and he wanted to come out because he needs to do some.
All right, I'll just show you. So yeah, I didn't place the camera very wisely there, but and then and they're chopped into shorter videos because it can only store a certain size video. There you go. I'm bringing back the swapped out batteries.
It's directional, so your son, if I did something.
Anyway, and then guess what? We rode back. There's camp. There's Mount Rossman. So if you put this on like a VR headset, you'll get sick. So anyway, all right. Here, I'll show you a little bit. Let's see. Do I go?
All right.
Where is this? Yeah, this is inside the dining hall. There's outside. That's the store there. So anyway, these will be, for the most part, they'll be uploaded. You can watch them at your leisure. As I get them uploaded, it's let's see what's uploading right now. Number 18 of 19 for the 11th is being December 11th being uploaded right now. So it will be on my Wikipedia server, flurf.info. Just go there and search for MC Toon. You'll find the listing of them. And so there's folders that you can actually look at the raw folders. Actually, well, let me just pull it up. So here it is. And then if you just go here, oh yeah, right here, this one. See that? So, I mentioned sunspots. So before I go into that one, here's the sunspot page. Bunches of people sent in. Thank you so much. These are super helpful. Even if they got these, you know why? Because you can still see sunspots. You see those? Look at that. That tells us about the rotation and the orientation of them. So people, thank you so much for sending these in. And then thank you to What's Up for curating these. Moon photos. Oh, look at that. We got a bunch of moon photos. But then this one here is MC Toon Raw. This is just the links to the raw videos. And let's see. Some of these were initially corrupted, and I fixed that because the upload was interrupted. So this is through the 10th. So Yeah, so here's the link to the video, and then if there's anything interesting in here, you can create for yourself a up there. You can create yourself an account, and you can go in and you can annotate if you want. So here's, for example, some annotations. So there it is. Icy Spin says, Dave was saying the marathon people were following y'all when they got back to Punta Arenas. Like following us on the internet or something? I don't know. Oh, they're fascinated by what we were doing. Yeah. So, somebody asked, did we get video of the discussion that happened in the night before we left in Union Glacier? Yes, I got the whole thing recorded there from the front of the room. I was in the way back, but I set the camera. Oh, the camera got a name. The camera's name is Tuna. So there it is, Tuna, right there. Icy Spin says that was an awesome chat. How do you know? Have you seen it? Was it broadcast somewhere else? I don't think I haven't uploaded that. Maybe somebody else has a different copy of it. I looked up the guy from TikTok. You got to have him on. Oh, which guy? The Brazilian guy? He was awesome. Yes, he was really awesome. You watched it raw. How did you watch it raw? Which one? No, you didn't. I haven't uploaded the one from Union Glacier yet. You're talking about the one from the marathon runners. Okay. So, all right. We've got Nick B says, big fan and first super chat ever. Please deal with Steven Alonso clown saying he predicted 24-hour sun. Yeah, using globe math. Expose him. Oh, I got a plan. Look, the final experiment has completely destroyed the AE map. And so what are the Flattys doing? Well, they're not seeking truth. Instead, they're running to other people to say, please save us, please save us. One of these people is Steven Alonso. And they're so desperate for him to save them that they're unaware that he's just faking everything. He's saying, well, we've got the college, the university, the Flat Earth University. No, you don't. He talks about having a campus. He doesn't have a campus. He has an address. There's no campus. It's just him in Belize. He lives in Belize. Everything is a fabrication, and the Flatties are like, oh, that's okay. They're like, they don't want to call Professor Dave, even though he did teach classes. For some reason, they have a problem with that. But they're okay calling Steven Alonso a doctor and not calling him out for that lie. And they're not calling him out for lying about having a university. They're not looking at the book he wrote and realizing, holy crap, it's all garbage. No, they don't do that because they're desperate. They're desperate to hold on to their lie, and he's the one that's giving them hope. And I'm waiting for them to latch onto him, because then it just shows how desperate they are. Let's see. Icy Spin says, I look forward to the glacier interview. Also, Dave showed the Religifleur raw footage last night, and watching him melt in real time was, as Lisa puts it, chef's kiss. Yes. GJ Pugley says you should upload the raw footage to the Internet Archive as a backup. That's a good idea. All of those links can be there. They're huge. There's a lot of data there. So, yeah, if they'll back it up, then even better. So, One God is Nowhere for $20 says, One God is Now Here. Sorry. One God is Now Here says, so very grateful you were part of the Globe team. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I really do. It was a fantastic trip, and I was just honored to be there. Guidehouse says, any footage of ALE staff curious about the flurfs? Yes. So that one, that is the day before we left, they said we're going to have a Q&A session. So Will got up, he gave a presentation, and then they gave some Q&A. And both Jeran and Austin answered them. It was mostly ALE staff that was there. I was sitting right next to their full-time meteorologist. He was absolutely disgusted, completely disgusted at how pompous and smug Austin was. Right, this guy that actually knows, and he puts people's lives on the line based on his knowledge and his understanding of the globe. Right, because if he gets the forecast wrong and there's a storm when he said there wasn't a storm, or they get trapped there because he gets something wrong, that can be absolute disaster. He has responsibility. Whitsitt has zero responsibility. He can spout all that nonsense that he does, and then he can be smug about it as if he somehow has knowledge, but nothing, no responsibility. If he's wrong, he's just lied. That's it. He's just a liar. That's it. And the bunch of idiots then believe him. But this meteorologist, he gets it wrong. Disaster. And smug Whitsitt is sitting there saying this crap. The meteorologist was not happy. He left. Dave McKeegan got to talk with him for a bit. Yeah. And that's always the thing. They can spout their nonsense because they have zero responsibilities. When you have responsibilities, you don't get to be wrong and continue to be wrong. Right? You're done. You're wrong, you're done. That's how it works. Right? Yeah. We got Where's Wally? It says, Jake, the fundamental orifice, is another who is wrapping globe maths, sun calc, with Flurf and calling it a win. Video coming soon. Yep. Cobra Commander says, I'm sure the Midwest cold prepared you for this. It did. We didn't have a whole lot of cold before, so I wasn't super prepared for it. But I mean, I know how to walk on snow, and I can recognize ice that's going to be slippery, so I didn't step on it. It wasn't that cold. What really prepared us all well for it was the gear that we had to have. Because if it's like, well, it's going to be windy. Oh, well, I know what to do. I'll go get my wind gear and I'll put on an extra layer or two. So we all knew what to do. We had the right stuff, and that helped a ton. But I probably was a little better, a little more comfortable than Jeran, who had a bit of a Southern California position. So, Cappy the Bappy says, what were some of the overnight lows? I saw some flirts griping about the shirtless pic. So that shirtless pic was probably between 20 and 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And we were all wearing, if you look at us, we're all wearing thick boots, thick pants, snow pants, and multiple layers in the bottom, right? So we had typically had long johns that were merino wool, and then a like a insulating layer that's like a fleece, and then on top of that either a windproof layer or snow pants. So we're all standing there with 2 or 3 layers of warm clothing on the bottom, as well as 2 layers of socks and then winter boots. So we were warm, and we'd been running around hauling our gear around and everything, and so we were plenty warm. So to take off to go just in a t-shirt for a bit wasn't all that bad. But after a while, we're like, okay, I'm starting to cool off. I put it on. So the overnight lows, I don't know if it got below 0. I don't think so. If you ever live where it does go below zero, you know there's like right around there it gets different. Snow sounds different. Things act differently. So I don't think it got that cold at night. The sun's up. The sun is always up. So, Jolene says, MC Tune Live, with no power comes no responsibility. Yeah. Addicted to Gaming says, wish I could stay for the rest of the live stream, but I have to work in the morning. Good night, and God bless Tune. Thank you very much for that. And then Huge Arse says, why did they cut me out of that shirtless pic? Could you send it to me? I think people want to see. Cappy the Bappy says, geez, it was colder where I live than the South Pole. We get -40 a couple nights. They do get colder. We just were very lucky to have the weather be so nice. Let's see. Max Dandry, yes, feel free to upload whatever you want. I'm looking for Hugh. In case X is too. All right, I'll have to look at that later. All right, nothing yet. And let me see if the Flatty. I'll answer that later. Nice. I got a few emails, but I'm looking for the one from the Flatty that thinks that no email from the Flatty that thinks that he knows stuff. So let me see here. Jeez. So the Insta360. So the last experiment I did there took forever to set up. The reason why it took forever to set up is because I needed to be very particular about the positions of things. So Janusz Takas had put together, and I worked with him on this, a sundial, and he printed out a 2-scale sundial. He gave me, and then I printed out a 2-scale sundial on tabloid paper, big piece of paper, that would work with the 2-inch gnomon. But there really wasn't a way to have a 2-inch gnomon on a piece of paper in Antarctica. Even though it wasn't very windy, there was still wind enough that the paper wouldn't have made it. So he also did the measurements for a 165 centimeter high gnomon, which I had figured is about as high as a tripod with a camera on it, or as high as an Insta360 with a camera on a tripod. And so that in fact worked. And so what I did is I measured out, and you can see it in the both of the one of the controversial videos was you saw this yardstick, not yardstick, it's a 2-meter stick. It unfolds. I had 2 of these. They're laying on the ground, and they're like, how come there's an extra shadow here? Well, how did this extra shadow show up? It wasn't a shadow, it was this laying on the ground. And so I would work on it, and then somebody called me to ask to help with something else, and so I just leave them on the ground there. And so there's times where there's a frame on the 48-second one where you saw this. And now today Dave uploaded the larger one, and you can see that better, and you can do a 360 view around it. So I had to find 24 things that I could mark distance with. Well, chunks of snow that I cut with a shovel so that they had a little bit of a straight edge on it there. Of course, we have lots of snow. So I put 24 of them around in a circle, and it took about 5 or 6, I don't know, at least 5 times around to get them in the right spot, to get them at the right angle. And so by the time I got them set up, we're ready to leave. So I'm like, well, I'll just set a tripod here. And I put an Insta360 on it, the one that is owned by Mark Herman. Thank you very much, Mark. He's Candace Owens' director. And then set that up, and then we left. We just left, and that just sat there. And so when you saw the snowmobile ride, I was going to change the battery. So we brought these power bricks, and I made sure that to choose power bricks that can charge and be charged at the same time, so you can daisy chain them. So you've got one power brick that's feeding the camera, and of course the camera has a battery, and then another power brick feeding the power brick. So by the morning when I came out there with the snowmobile, power brick number 1 that's feeding the camera directly was in the low 90%, and power brick number 2 was in the 30%. So I only swapped out power brick number 2, so dropped in one at 100%, and so then it went to feeding the other one. So then when I got there that night, power brick number 1 was at 80%, and power brick number 2 was still plenty fine. It could have gone even longer. But yeah, I got a full 24 hours, 360-degree video. It's a full terabyte in size, and it takes absolutely forever to render. So I set up a render. I started it yesterday morning. Today it was at 90-something%. I was super excited. I'm looking at it. I hit the escape key, and it stopped instantly. No confirmation. Are you sure you want to cancel? It just stopped. It ran for like 36 hours, and it was almost done. All I had to do was nothing. And I failed. I couldn't do nothing. Oh, so I had to restart it. It's at 40% now. I learned my lesson the hard way. It takes so long to render. It's a terabyte of data. It's got to churn through. My heart sank. I mean, it's just, I'm not outputting it tomorrow. I wasn't planning on, right? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. You got the next day Christmas. I'm not planning on publishing any of this for a while, but man. So I'm going to do the same thing as Dave did. So Dave McKeegan took the one that he's published already. He took as a time lapse, and then he outputted that time lapse, which is 25 minutes, to to follow the sun, and that was 48 seconds. It was quick to do because the time lapse is only 25 minutes and it's not as much data. I have 24 hours of data. He had 25 minutes of data. And so then today he released the VR version of it, the 25-minute version of it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to release a 48-second version of it following the shadow. This is the shadow thing, following the shadow. And then I'll do longer, and then eventually the full VR. But it still takes rendering. It still takes uploading. It's going to be huge. There's a lot of data to process. So Frizzo Gorder says, I have 144 Xeon scalable cores and 8 GPUs here in my home lab. They could gobble your render needs up. They could, if the Insta360 software could make use of it. I don't know if it can. It seems to be rather linear. Well, maybe not linear. Let me look. Hold on. We got Insta360 export one. Oh, geez. So I have this Mac has plenty of CPU power, plenty of GPU power, and this Insta360 exporter is using 118%. So it's using one CPU plus a little more. So I'm thinking it's single threaded on this export, and the other 18 or 20% is just bookkeeping. So I don't think that the speed up would be simply CPU speed. So, all right, I've got. They're asking why did Hugh get removed from the picture? Yeah, I don't know. Let me pull it up here. There we go. We put Hugh back in. Gipugly says, is there not a setting somewhere for hardware acceleration? The Insta360 app is not spectacular. I'm Grish, I'm not using Linux, I'm on a Mac, so it's got the Mach microkernel. I think it's Mach 4.0 microkernel by Avi, who spearheaded it. Avi, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember Avi's name. That spearheaded the. Hold on. Avi Tevnian, I think is his name. Hold on. Yeah, Avi Tevnian. So Avi Tevnian is the guy that's behind the Mach microkernel. And so he's no longer with Apple, but he was spearheaded that for years and years. So anyway, there's Hugh Jars with us. Definitely totally legit photo of Hugh in Antarctica with us. It was definitely not that cold. So Grish says, cool, just curious because Windows does not show your core percentages, just overall. Yep. Yeah. So all right. Sable Klaus for 14 ZARs. Is that South African? Says, where are the guns, Nathan? And Slack Back says, if you could do it again, is there something you would do differently? A different experiment, taking different gear, etc.? Well, number one, I would not leave my carry-on in the plane. So in the plane to Antarctica, I brought the backpack and I brought my carry-on. And I had, by chance, distributed stuff to both of them, fortunately. And then I left the carry-on in the plane. So it flew back to Punta Arenas. And they got it there and they're like, we'll send it down with the cargo plane. Well, the cargo plane arrived the day before we left. And I got it late in the day. So I had my stuff with me just for a little bit. So the P1000 was in there. I didn't have that with me. That was really the only thing that I was sad to not have. There were other things that were in there that I'm like, I could deal with it. I had a Bluetooth speaker. I thought maybe we'd play some music there because we were far enough from camp. It didn't matter. So we could play all the music we wanted and, nobody would care because, oh my goodness, Ramshot Rowdy for another 200. Holy cow. Says, okay, this is 500 total. Can you say something like, the Earth is a globe, Ramshot rocks, and is a sexy beast? Seriously, thanks for doing this. I want to go to Antarctica now. Yes, I can say something like that. The Earth is a globe, and Ramshot is a sexy beast. Yes, when I first heard about this, I thought, is Antarctica really? I mean, you see the videos and the pictures, and you're like, oh, it's pretty rugged, it's cold, it's windy. People have their beards are all frosted up and icicles hanging off of them and all that. And I'm like, that's a bit scary. But we did not experience that. And so certainly our experience is a little bit out of the ordinary. So to be clear, Here's what it was. The ALE staff said that for most of the season, the weather has been pretty rough. They weren't certain whether or not they could get the plane to land at different times. There was a question about whether or not the marathon plane could come in on time, whether or not they could leave on time. They're like, well, we're going tomorrow if the plane can go. The plane went, but they weren't certain. And it wasn't the clear skies that we had. We get there, clear blue skies, no wind, warm weather. Seriously, it was the nicest weather ever in winter that I've experienced. Wind is the worst, and there was none. It was just spectacular. If you watch the live streams, we're just standing outside and there's no problem at all. That wind could come through and blow over all those tripods. None of them blew over in the wind. It was amazing. We had way more wind in Punta Arenas. You watch that part in Punta Arenas, it was crazy windy, but nothing in Antarctica. 3 days of amazing weather. The third day we had a little bit of wind and then it died down. It was not bad at all. And then they're like, you're going to have to leave early because there's bad weather coming. So we had to leave a day early. And I don't know how it's been since then, but the forecast was bad weather. They're like, if you don't leave tomorrow, you might be here for Christmas. So Dave McKeegan, not a churchgoer, said to Will, there's somebody upstairs doing something here. So, pretty cool. Cappy the Bappy says, do you have a single favorite moment? A single. I'll think about that. Ken Schaefer says $100. I was a sexy beast at points in my life. Merry Toonsmas to all. You were a sexy beast? That's so good, Ken Schaefer. I was too. Nope. But Ken Schaefer, thank you very much for that. Let's see. This is cool. I didn't know that we could do this. This is added kind of recently, I guess. And we could see the people where they responded to it. So we got Ramshot Ready says, get down with your bad self in response to Ken. And then Lori Lethejo says, may you remain equally sexy in death. That's pretty cool. So a single favorite moment, I don't know. It's probably okay. The conversation between Kati and Whitsitt was spectacular. Because there he is, smug as can be, trying to tell her how stuff is done in Antarctica. And she's like, no, that's not how it is. And here she is, an expert in her field, knows exactly. And he's pretending that he knows more than her, and she's not giving him an inch. She's shutting him down over and over and over again. It was great. Like, nobody's ever gone straight from the coast to the South Pole and then to the coast without turning. She's like, nope, that's not true. This person did it. This person did it. This person did it. She's like, and what's he going to say to her? All he can say is, nuh-uh. That's all he has. Because previous in that conversation, the guy that was the bodyguard, he wasn't the bodyguard. He was a rancher from Idaho. He likes to do things like this. So Whitsitt's like, nobody's ever seen the curve from a plane. Nuh-uh. And he goes, I have. 1990 Concorde. And Whitsitt goes, no, you didn't. The guy, like, I shan't repeat what he said, but he, from then on, from actually before that, he had simply called Whitsitt the crazy guy. So, where did this conversation happen? It was the day before we went at the restaurant that ALE invited us to go out to, and they covered the bill. So it had everybody that was going. So our 9 people, and then the bald guy, who's a pretty tough looking guy, right? Big broad shoulders. He's a rancher for all his life, and he's just he went skiing, he went hiking, he's like, I like to go hella skiing, right? Ride up a mountain on a helicopter and then jump out and go skiing down. So that's what I'm talking about. So M. Shedler says, gotta run. Thanks for all. One hell of an undertaking. Happy holidays to all. Thank you, M. Shedler, fellow Minnesotan. Well, I got a couple here. Melodic Lyric says, I hope my by-minute predictions were helpful. Which ones were those? Jim Broughton says, your call to Oakley was one of the finest moments ever on YouTube. I did enjoy it. PhD Tony says, you left your carry-on on the plane. You've been an undercover flirt this whole time. Yeah, I fortunately, like, most of the stuff I needed was in my other bag. So I didn't, we could have left stuff there in Punta Arenas, but there was a few things that I wanted to bring that wouldn't fit in my backpack. So I think I had 1 or 2 of my batteries that I'd left, but in the end we didn't need quite that many. The P1000 I missed. I left my hat. My hat was in there, but it wasn't that cold. So I wore my earmuffs. It was perfect. It was fine. Melodic Lyrics. Oh, the sun elevation and azimuth. They're on your website. Okay. I haven't looked. Icy Spin says, can you tell us, it was McFlatty, right? Apparently McFlatty was there. I never saw him. But he, I don't know. Some people said that he has some videos on his channel there. I don't know. Yeah, somebody maybe wants to link to McFlatty's channel so they can see some of these adventures that supposedly happened. Anyway, JM21 says, would you say the observations from southern Chile are enough to convince honest skeptics, and that Antarctic observations are just a spectacular bonus? I would say that observations from absolutely anywhere in the world are enough to convince an honest skeptic. The Antarctic observations are cutting a gaping wound in flat Earth and pouring salt into it over and over and over. And when the pain subsides, cutting another gaping wound in and following it up with a whole bunch more salt. Because there is no running away from this. The sun did circles over our head for 24 hours a day, every day while we were there. There is absolutely no explanation for this on Flat Earth, Dirt Pizza. All of the 2 main responses that they've been doing so far by lying about it being not real, absolutely are going to make them into liars. I've got multiple terabytes of video data that they cannot refuse. It will just expose them as the lying scum they are. The other camp is saying, oh, we always predicted this. Of course they did not. They're Johnny-come-latelys on predicting it, going to either Joe Hanvey or Stephen Alonso. Both of them are frauds. Alonso uses the globe and then projects it. He does not leave his, he doesn't let people see his source code. People have seen it. And Joe Hanvey just is pure cope. He just keeps trying new and more different domes and mirrors and things to try to force it to fit, rather than starting with looking at the evidence and saying, where does the evidence lead us? But don't worry, both of them will get their time. Right? Waiting for the Flattys to commit to which one so that we can then destroy it and expose them as the liars they are. So, NASA Security Force says, Dave said he saw you cram McFlatty in an overhead on the plane. I didn't. I can't believe he said that. Sir Fartsmore says, if the sunset is just sun moving further away, shouldn't you be able to zoom the sun, the sun back into view? Of course. But for some reason you can't. So, some reason you can't. How about committed flat Earth? I don't know. This shows a lot of things. This shows that flat earthers are not interested in truth. They're not interested in evidence. They're not interested in anything other than following their cult. Right? They select the conclusion and then require everything to match, rather than saying, let's follow the evidence. So Jeran so far has said, I'm following the evidence. Shifty Eye Shady has said he's following the evidence. Good for you. Sorry, I'm like getting a little mucusy. Hold on. So did McFlatty escape? I don't know. I can't be bothered to watch him. So, you know, he's my cousin. Lord X says, Witsit claims unfair treatment by ALE and Team Globe, like he wasn't told more than one bag was allowed, or the Wi-Fi password was kept from him. So this is easy to test. Did Witsit ever live stream from Halfway Point? I can point to a live stream where he did. How could he have live streamed from Halfway Point without the password? He was given the password. He wasn't told more than one bag was allowed. Well, just a second here. Right? I'm not addressing this publicly. I'm just doing it here. Let's see. On the day that is December 7, Will published this on our Telegram chat right there. That's all you get. It's the luggage requirements. We all had the same luggage requirements told to us on December 7 for travel. I followed them. I brought a carry-on bag and a personal bag and a checked bag. The checked bag had to weigh under a certain amount. The carry-on and the personal bag, I had both. In fact, the day before, I went to purchase a different carry-on bag because I'm like looking at the ones we have here. I'm like, none of these really are that great. I don't think this one won't fit. This one's not very big, and this is a backpack, and it's got a whole bunch of padding in it. So I'm like, no, I'm going to go to Walmart. I went to Walmart. I spent all of $25 on a carry-on bag with wheels. That's what I did. Based on this from December 7. Being a big boy, I took care of myself. I went and got what I needed. I brought one bag. Now, Dave McKeegan brought two. And what did he do? Just like in here, he paid extra for it. It's right in there. He's a big boy. He figured out how to pay extra for it. That's what he did. So how come Witsit didn't do that? Probably because he didn't look at this message from December 7th. Because he's not a big boy. He's a little baby. That's what he is. Right? So why was he scrambling? Because he didn't Because he's an irresponsible child. That's why he was scrambling. That's why he didn't know that he could bring those things. So, Jesus Eber Martinez says, my personal favorite is seeing Whitsitt aimlessly wandering around in the background at Antarctica. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what experiments he was planning. He didn't share with us any of the things he was thinking about. I shared everything I was thinking about. I published it on my website for everyone to review. I specifically asked for everyone, all flat earthers. I sought out flat earthers to give feedback to me on the experiments I was planning to do. I got none. None. No flat earthers said, wait a second, that's not the prediction for flat earth. This is the prediction for flat earth. The only thing I got from them was, that's not the prediction for flat earth. To which I said, well, what is the prediction for flat earth? To which I got nothing. So how can I get the correct prediction for flat earth if you don't give me the correct prediction for flat earth? Anyway, Whitsitt knew this because days beforehand, he had looked at my webpage. He went on Discord. He went over this webpage on Discord, talked with the other people on Discord saying that I was on there the day before, 2 days before, something like that. What did I talk about? He was asking the other people on Discord on the Earth Awakening server. So Whitsitt knew what I was doing. I don't know what Whitsitt was doing. I still don't really know what Whitsitt was doing. I do know that they got some compasses, some magnetic compasses, and while they were on the plane, they verified that they were headed south. Great. He said that he wanted to go buy a gyro compass. Whitsitt said that he wanted to go buy a gyro compass. Does anybody know anything about gyro compasses? Can anybody give a rough approximation of the size of a small gyro compass? A small gyro compass is how big? Giant. He doesn't even know how damn big a gyro compass is. He doesn't know what a gyro compass is. He wanted to get a gyro compass and bring it to Antarctica. You can get laser gyro compasses. How much does a laser gyro compass cost? It's like, oh my gosh. Nick N says Whitsitt was just there to be Jeran's security blanket. I think Jeran was nervous, and Jeran, and rightfully so. And in the end, there were 4 flat earthers that went. But Jeran was like, I don't want to be the only one there. Reasonable. And also, he was putting up a roadblock. Psychology. And Will's like, I'm tearing down those roadblocks. And so when Jeran threw up the roadblock, Will said, let's just take that out. So Jeran said, I need another person. And Will said, okay. Oh, no more roadblock. No more excuse. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ishi Tony says about $2,000. I checked before the trip. There you go. Okay. How big is that? But that's a pretty cheap one. It costs 15 degrees per hour. So I'll show you. I was working hard to get this to work, and good thing for Andreas. But this is the magnetometer that I brought. It's got a little screen on it. You can hear it click. It's all it does is it's got a click and it's got a screen. And this is the actual device that does the measuring. You can see there's a little screw there. That screw has a little bit of magnetism to it. Throwing off the raw measurements of the magnetometer. So Andreas, being this is his field, wrote a thing to compensate for that. So you calibrate it. You calibrate it by twisting it around in different directions so that all 3 axes get max and min values in different directions, and then it's calibrated, and then it gives you the correct field strength. Works fantastically. Witsit said he wanted to look at it, he just didn't make time for it. I'm not blaming him for that or anything, but I brought that. So they're like, let's bring a compass. They don't even know what to do. That was the funny thing, right? They're like, we're going to bring a whole bunch of stuff. What experiments are you going to do? We're going to bring a whole bunch of stuff. What stuff? And what are you going to do with it? We're going to have stuff. All right. Here's a gyro compass. Solid state / rate gyro compass without cables. Interesting thing there. Will that, I mean, it's clearly not a, put this up here. This is not a, it doesn't have a spinning gyroscope in it, does it? Let me see. Second generation award-winning compass technology, solid state rate gyro compass. It provides better than 0.7x heading accuracy through Q45x and roll and pitch angle, and better than 1x in pitch accuracy in static conditions. So that's just the raw device. They would still need to have something to read it. So that'd be cool, but yeah, that's digital. It's a solid state. That's why it says solid state. So it's not a spinning gyro compass, which I don't know. Would they accept a solid state gyro compass? If it did, here's the thing. If it didn't give them the results that they wanted, of course it wouldn't be acceptable. Right? They only will accept results that match. So Lower Deck says, what did Elizabeth have to say about the 24-hour sun? Well, she agreed it was 24-hour sun. But all three of them were doing live streams out on the waterfront every night, and they saw the sun. They saw it. They knew it was coming. It's a sunset, and then they saw the sun go across the sky south of them. Every night, they knew what was coming. They're like, that can't be. That doesn't match. It's not that way. It would have to be that way. I see Spin says, apparently 24-hour sun is fine for flat Earth. Now, word on the street. Of course. Everything that doesn't match flat Earth suddenly matches flat Earth every time. Darkstar 4400 says, congrats on an amazing trip. Glad Tuna did her job. Merry Christmas from her family to yours. And I'm out. Well, thank you very much. Darkstar 4400. Well, Tuna will get another outing in when we go to Tahoe, because I'm going to film the whole thing there too. So your pal Al says, yo, where them heaters at, Nathan? Ken Schaefer says, for $10, cheers to Apollo 8 history. First manned mission to orbit the moon. The Christmas Eve message still brings joy to me and totally worth a listen for those who haven't heard it. I think last year I published it in a video. It is a religious thing. If you're anti-religious, then you might not like it, but to see if it'll suit your tastes. It's pretty cool. NASA got sued by atheists for it, so I think it's interesting for the people that claim that NASA's the devil, right? NASA got sued by atheists for airing the message that they read while orbiting the moon for Apollo 8. So flat earthers who think that NASA's on the wrong side, you're wrong. Look at the history. All right, your pal says I missed some super chats. Let me see here. I don't want to miss any. Scrolling back. Searching. I'll go through yours again, your pal Al. I have a way to check them now, so. Your pal Al for $2. Yo, where them heaters at, Nathan? That's all I see for super chats from you. Did I miss somewhere? So, Zoomy says, have you gotten a chance to listen to the song I made about the guns? It's in your Discord. So I did, yes. Pedro, HODL, says, let me get this back up here, says, the flat earthers in my country, Brazil, are all in the first group of flirts. They're still in the shadows / chroma arguments. It's so stupidly sad. Well, good news is there's so much more data coming. They will all be shown to be liars. So I would suggest, Pedro, document their claims so that when the evidence comes out, you can say, you claimed this, here's reality. And then have all of you people, boom, 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 boom. These are your lies, flat earthers. Right? That's what it is. Flat Earth is a cult of lies. All you need to do is document them and show, here's your lie, here's your lie, here's your lie. Sable Klaus says, for 14 ZARs, a laser gyro compass is $19,999, more than my donation. I see spin. Let's see. Do you ever talk with Austin and Jeran about how they were being called shills now? I feel like that would have come up. Good campfire talk. Well, I did talk with Jeran. Jeran and I were in the Santiago airport for a while. So we both arrived within a short amount of time of each other from Punta Arenas to Santiago. We're on different flights there, but they were minutes. You know, they were just behind us in the line a little bit in passport control, but we lost track of where they were after that. So they the flight from Santiago to Miami was delayed by 3 hours. The connecting flight from Miami to the next spot for both of us would be after that plane landed. So they had to do something else. So they put us both on a plane to Dallas, which was 17 hours later. And I'm like, okay. Jeran was a bit more upset. They gave him a hotel. So we went to a hotel for a little while. I just stayed in the airport and walked around. That's what I did. But oh yeah, that's another thing. Like Austin complained, like, oh, they got the nice flights. Like we had the same flights. There was nothing different about our flights than your flights. Right? Our flight left Punta Arenas at 2:20 a.m. Not a nice flight. There was a 2:20 and there was a 3 something. Those were our choices. I picked the earlier one when I booked it because I looked at the layover and everything. I'm like, that would be a little better. So, but they happened to be in the other one, but they were, like I said, in passport control just behind us. So the flights were the same. And then we had Jeran and I were on the same exact flight to Miami. That got canceled. We were on the same exact flight to Dallas that we did have. Same flight. And then I had one more hop to Minneapolis, which was delayed. So instead of arriving in Minneapolis at 1:30 on Saturday, I arrived in Minneapolis around 10 p.m. on Saturday. So, you know, of our group, I think I had the longest travel time. Whatever. It's a long distance. It's a long way to go. So, a mechanical, it would be interesting. Here is an interesting thing for people to ponder, maybe discuss on my Discord server. What would it take to put together a gyro compass? So a gyro compass is a device that measures rotation, right? A physical spinning gyro compass, well, they tend to be rather large, but but a solid state gyro compass uses rotation and accelerometer. So it measures this, right? So if you get a gyro compass and you sit on a plane and then you fly 70 miles, it should rotate by 1 degree. If you fly 700 miles, it should rotate by 10 degrees. So can we do that? Can we get a gyro compass, get on a plane, fly 700 miles or 14 or whatever it is, and measure that amount of rotation when we're sitting it on the ground, right? Sit on the ground, there it is, level, gyro compass. Go some other distance, same thing, sit it there, gyro compass. Can we do that? Something that's, right? So this turned out to be super easy in the end. So the gyro compass probably would have to be powered on the whole time, which isn't difficult as long as we can do it with USB. So there's the challenge. Can we do something like that? Maybe using this solid state gyro compass. It's $600. We would need some other device to control it, maybe an Arduino, maybe a Raspberry Pi, something like that. That would be really cool. Can we put something like that together for a reasonable cost? $1,000 would be reasonable. Icy Spin says everything I see is request quote. What you think, like 10 to 20,000? Well, yes. So at PhD Tony gave me a lot of information on magnetometers. And in the end, like I looked at them and they're like, yeah, they're too expensive. I couldn't handle it in time and with all the other budget. But this turned out to be less than $100 and it worked fantastic. Really worked well. That worked. So had to do some custom development, some custom coding to make it work. Can we get this type of thing here and make it work? That's the question. So if people want to, for mechanical. Okay. So yeah, mechanical are bigger and they actually have a device that's physically spinning. You have to power the motor the whole time. That's pretty difficult. So, all right. Man, got some mucus going. Anyway, El Colgan says someone should have taken a green screen suit. Somebody did, and it proved that it wasn't a green screen. This is what's amazing, right? So they have, I think, given up on the green screen thing, but Jonathan Morandi had a green screen thing, a green patch on his coat, his fleece coat thing. And then you saw the TFE logo that Will uses when he's at his home. And they're like, that's a green screen proof. It's a green screen. But no, what if it was a green screen? Instead of that, you would see the horizon, the sky behind him instead of the TFE logo that Will uses. It was the worst cope ever. But that's what they do. So, totally accidental, but hilarious in the back end. Absolutely. Gary. Yep. Yep. So, all right. Design of the Sperry. Yeah, this is a pretty cool video there. If you want to look at that one from that S. Thurston posted. So, let's see. Lisa said, I saw a YouTube channel that turned several Raspberry Pis into a cluster. It was an interesting build. So now it's the Dome in Vegas or Amazon set. They don't even know how green screen works. That they think it's something invisible. They're just grasping. Sorry. All right. So Rob Hoyle says the gyroscope experiment, would it be possible to get the gyroscope compass on an exactly parallel level at either end of the journey? That'd be the key. You'd need to bring something so that you could, in the airport before and in the airport after, measure it. And Anyway, Max Rim Velocity gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much for that. And if you are the recipient, then make sure you thank Max Rim Velocity as well. Borg Emporia says, Dave Fear said, did Witsit not even bring SD cards with him? Apparently he did not, because they went over to that shopping area and bought some SD cards. I don't know why he didn't bring his own SD cards. It's not like SD cards are very large. I've got 5 of them right here, 5 micro SD cards, each of them a terabyte, and then other ones in tuna here, and half a terabyte here. That the other one like this is in the P1000. So I don't know. I don't know why it wasn't, right? It's not that big. It was easy. So Axie Spin, did you catch Witsit walking in the room when you were laying into Oakley? It just keeps walking. Jeran sleeping in the background. So yeah, this was the next day. Everybody was pretty tired. I was excited as can be, because we're in Antarctica. We're doing this work time, right? I can sleep later, but the sun's up. The sun's up. I'm ready to go. So, let's see. Daryl Frost says, I've been a gyroscope tech in the Navy for some years. They just fix a position in space. They are expensive. Yes. So anyway, people, thank you very much. This has been fantastic. I am looking for a debate partner, opponent, interlocutor for this coming Friday night on Modern Day Debate. If you know of a flat earther that wants to address the evidence, then let me know. And Ramshot Rowdy gifted 20 memberships. Wow. Thank you so much, Ramshot. I appreciate that. And I'm sure all of these people are receiving them right here. Sorry, wrong hand. Okay. Are appreciating it as well. Thank you so much for that. This has been an absolute wonderful live stream. I've appreciated all of the support. The months of effort have paid off here. I'm looking for the outro here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to go with that one there. So anyway, it's just been, it was such a fantastic trip. I can't thank you all enough for your part in helping me to go and making sure it happened. So I will continue to get these things uploaded. I will continue to give back everything I can. And I have my wife had suggested that I somehow like scan and publish this as a PDF. I probably will do something like that. Right. So like not everything is filled out. I didn't get any cell nav done. There were 2 nights where we saw stars. One of them, I was outside. I didn't have the sextant with. I didn't even use my phone. It was super windy. It was cold. It was a little bit miserable. And the star trails I got were not very good because the tripod was moving. The other night, I was so tired. I set up the camera. I pointed it up. I hit go and I went to sleep. And it went, and because the P1000 has a program, it'll go for 150 minutes. So I got a 150-minute star trail. It's amazing. There is no flat earth proof, Icy Spin, not a single one. Eduardo Ferrero says some here already cried. This is AI video. Of course they do. They have to. They're just scrambling. And then we got Jazz Incarnate for 10 pounds says, thanks for all your awesome work and content. You are amazing, MC Toon. Please take a bow. Thank you for that. All right. There it is. Anyway, people, get your if you don't have your checkered shoes on, be sure to get your checkered shoes on, because this song requires them. Itorius for $5 says, Mr. Toon is the only person to travel 8,000 miles away from Antarctica to see a penguin. Happy Tuesday and Merry Toonsmas. Glad to see you made it home safely. Thank you very much. Yes, our puppy penguin is ever so cute. But hey, everybody, get ready. It's time to skank.
Pick it up, pick it up. Is it dirt? Is it potato? Watch the screen and wait for the show. What's revealed, we're dying to know. Is it dirt or a potato? Check
Pick it out.
Dirt or potato? Yes, I'm right, let's go. Dirt or potato? It's the game that steals the show. Look at the picture, don't make a mistake. Is it a spud or is it a face? Out of the ground or from his own behind? Dirt or potato, what will you find? Right on! Yo, can you tell what's underneath? A derpy mugshot or a root beneath? With every guess, we laugh and cheer. Is it dirt for a potato? Let's make it clear. Hang it up, give it a show. Dirt for potato, let's go. Skank it up, skank it up. Is it from the dirt or a funny disguise? Could it be a tater or a pair of eyes? What's in the ground or lurking around? Dirt or potato, where will it be found? Could it be smooth or full of lumps? Maybe it's grown on someone's big rump. Get your guess in, let's see what's true. Dirt or potato, it's all up to you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the picture, don't make a mistake. Is it a spud or is it a face? Out of the ground or from his own behind? Dirt or potato, what will you find? A pile of soil or a starchy friend? Guess it right and you'll ascend. Look real close, don't let it slide. Is it dirt or a potato waiting inside? Let's go, rude boys. On the garden patch or a silly trick, will you pick the right one or end up quick? Whether it's dirt or a golden spud, dirt or potato, here comes the flood. A mystery unfolds, what will it be? A lovely spot or dirt, can't you see? With every reveal, we're in for a laugh. Dirt or potato, it's the ultimate craft. Dirt or potato, guess it right, let's go. Dirt or potato, it's the game that steals the show. Beneath the earth or just pretend, a lump of soil or some dumb tread. Pick your choice, don't hesitate. Dirt or potato, now seal your fate. What's in the box, what will appear? A mash of dirt or something unclear. Make your move, we're almost through. Dirt or potato, it's all on you. Will it be fries or a dirty pile? Guess it wrong and we'll laugh for a while. Test your luck, it's time to go. Dirt or potato, let the guessing flow.